Chapter 1. The initial 10 consecutive draws, an abundance of trillions in reserves. In a quaint CAF in the southern city, a young couple sat facing each other. The girl was named Su Qingyu, and the boy was Jiang Yuan. Su Qingyu lowered her head and took a sip of her coffee, speaking calmly. Jiang Yuan, let's part ways amicably. Jiang Yuan, sipping his coffee without a hint of panic, replied, you wish to end 4 years of our relationship just like that? I deserve an explanation. Su Qingyu offered a feeble excuse. I've lost my feelings. Jiang Yuan gazed intently into her eyes, his tone earnest. I wish to hear the truth, and no longer concealing her sentiments. Su Qingyu's expression turned scornful as she revealed, my family has arranged a match for me, an elite graduate from a prestigious university. Now, a management trainee at a Fortune 500 company, earning at least $30,000 a month right out of school. Jiang Yuan merely responded with a nonchalant "oh," chuckling and shaking his head. He was a graduate of a lesser-known university, currently working as a courier, earning a mere $3,000 a month. Su Qingyu composed herself, her demeanor serene. You understand how precious a girl's youth is. I hope you can grant me this favor, and let's part peacefully. Her words implied that her time spent with Jiang Yuan was a squandered opportunity. Su Qingyu's astonishment, Jiang Yuan displayed neither hysteria nor any sign of agitation. He regarded her as one might an utter fool. You are prepared to end our relationship for a mere $30,000 a month. Jiang Yuan laughed. Mere? How audacious. That's 10 times what you earn. Su Qingyu retorted disdainfully, shaking her cup of coffee. Have you ever heard the old adage? Jiang Yuan calmly sipped his coffee. What old adage? Su Qingyu inquired, taken aback. Jiang Yuan retrieved 5 red certificates from his bag, relocation certificates from a first-tier city. Buying a house early is worth more than a decade of education. Su Qingyu was taken aback, her hand trembling, causing her coffee to spill onto the floor. Her lips moved as she struggled to articulate a response. Seizing the moment, Jiang Yuan pressed on. Do you know how much the latest policy compensates per square meter? I've heard it can be as low as 60,000 and as high as 100,000. As he spoke, he waved the 5 relocation certificates. You mentioned 5 properties. Each one must be at least 100 to 180 square meters. My math isn't the best, but how much do you think that amounts to? Su Qingyu fell silent, feeling as if she were a clown in a circus. The true golden son-in-law had been right beside her all along. Had he feigned poverty merely to test her? Jiang Yuan, seemingly indifferent, continued, the match your family has chosen for you earns $30,000 a month. Do you think he could possibly accumulate such wealth in his lifetime? $30,000 a month amounts to merely over $300,000 a year. Even if he refrained from eating or drinking, he would likely never amass such astronomical compensation from relocation. The wealthy beneficiaries of relocation were, astonishingly, right beside her. Su Qingyu took a deep breath, striving to regain her composure. Xiao Yuan, upon further reflection, our 4 years together, perhaps we shouldn't part ways so abruptly. For years together? That phrase sounded vaguely familiar. Jiang Yuan gently shook his head and sighed. My youth is precious. How could I squander it on someone who does not love me? Su Qingyu hurriedly explained. I love you. I have deep feelings for you. Jiang Yuan sighed again. But I am quite disappointed in you at this moment. Without hesitation, Su Qingyu retrieved her WeChat and opened the chat window with the matchmaker. She composed a message. I have found true love. We have no future together. I apologize. She placed her phone in front of Jiang Yuan and pressed the send button right before his eyes. Moments later, the other party replied, Damn, you wasted my time. With that, the two completely severed ties. Su Qingyu flatteringly inquired, Are you satisfied now? When will this house be demolished? And when can I expect the compensation? Jiang Yuan looked at her in disbelief. What compensation? What are you talking about? She picked up the 5 red certificates and opened them, only to find them entirely blank, devoid of any content. It dawned on Su Qingyu that she had been played by Jiang Yuan. Anger and resentment surged in her eyes as she spat. Jiang Yuan, how dare you deceive me? Jiang Yuan appeared confused and innocent. When did I deceive you? I merely discussed the topic of demolition. I never claimed my family was undergoing it. His words infuriated Su Qingyu to the point of nearly spitting blood. The crux of the matter was that Jiang Yuan had indeed never mentioned that his family was being demolished. It was Su Qingyu's own avarice and impatience that led her to this embarrassing predicament. You insolvent wretch, dare to act up. Su Qingyu pointed at Jiang Yuan, momentarily at a loss for words due to her fury. Just wait, I'll find someone to deal with you. With a venomous remark, Su Qingyu stormed off, simultaneously dialing her matchmaker to clarify the misunderstanding and plead for forgiveness. Jiang Yuan shook his head. A woman so materialistic and superficial is hardly worth my affection. He had long been aware of Su Qingyu's intentions, and thus he had come prepared today. Ding! The host's mindset meets the criteria. The Godly Wealth Lottery system has been bound. Name, Jiang Yuan. Age, 23. Height, 178 centimeters. Attractiveness, 9.9. Strength, 7. Speed, 8. Agility, 8. Intelligence, 8. Capital, 10 trillion. Shot points, 0. Note 1. The host can accumulate points by shocking others. Note 2. Every 100 shot points can be exchanged for a lottery opportunity. Ding! The beginner's gift pack is being distributed, including a free 10-draw lottery ticket. Listening to the sudden voice in his mind, Jiang Yuan smiled slightly. He had finally awaited the system. Not long ago, he had traversed into this world. A frequent reader of novels, he was well aware of what a system entailed. His particular system, however, was rather unique. Point 1 can astonishingly accumulate points of astonishment to partake in a lottery. Moreover, the novice gift package proves to be quite generous, as it directly bestows a 10-draw ticket. Shall the host utilize the 10-draw lottery ticket immediately? Let's do it, Jiang Yuan commanded. As he issued his directive, a soft blue luminescence gradually materialized before his eyes. It was a lottery interface. Ding, ding, ding. 10 exquisite blind boxes slowly emerged upon the luminous screen. Jiang Yuan delicately brushed his finger across one of the blind boxes, and instantly, a white reward appeared. Reward, 1 million yuan. Gulp! Jiang Yuan swallowed hard. The lowest tier white reward astonishingly amounted to 1 million. How splendid! How extravagant! Without hesitation, Jiang Yuan swiped through 8 blind boxes in succession. Reward, 1 million yuan. 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 Reward, 10 million yuan. Reward, 10 million yuan. 2 blue and 6 white. The total reached an impressive 26 million yuan. As Jiang Yuan swiped through the final blind box, a radiant burst of rainbow-colored light dazzled before him. Critical reward, a luxurious standalone villa in the Dongshan Villa District. Note, this critical reward is valued at approximately 4 billion. Chapter 2. The 4 billion mansion purchased by a mysterious individual. A standalone villa in the Dongshan Villa District, Jiang Yuan's heart raced. Even if he had never personally witnessed a pig run, he had certainly heard of it. He had frequently heard discussions about the Dongshan Villa District, renowned as the most luxurious villa enclave in the entire South City, where the residents are either affluent magnates, top-tier celebrities, or prominent figures of high standing. Think he had drawn a villa from this prestigious area. Does this not imply that his future neighbors would be illustrious personalities? What a windfall! I feel quite pleased, Jiang Yuan mused joyfully as a series of notifications chimed on his phone. Ding! The transaction procedures for your standalone villa in the Dongshan Villa District have been completed. On his phone, a thumbnail of the villa alongside its lavish amenities such as a swimming pool, a backyard garden, a private cinema, a study, and a sports court flooded his vision. Leaving him in awe, Jiang Yuan nodded in satisfaction. Recalling his current shabby rental, which was not only cramped but also leaked, with abysmal sound insulation, he realized that had it not been for the relatively low rent, he would have longed to relocate. The disparity between the two residences was akin to a beggar's den juxtaposed with the emperor's palace. Without a moment's hesitation, Jiang Yuan resolved to tidy up and promptly move to his new abode. This matter was known to very few, but those privy to it were, without exception, among the elite of South City. The most extravagant villa in the Dongshan Villa District had been quietly acquired this morning by a mysterious individual. Once this news broke, countless individuals sought to befriend this enigmatic figure. After all, anyone possessing the financial means to purchase such a villa was undoubtedly extraordinary, making them a highly sought-after ally. According to reports, the enigmatic individual made a direct purchase at double the market price. Such extravagant spending appears to disregard the value of money entirely. This has piqued the curiosity of many. Which magnate has set their sights on our city's premier luxury residence, displaying such audacity by acquiring it outright? This figure is truly remarkable. We must align ourselves with this illustrious personage. Let us prepare gifts to extend a warm welcome to this esteemed individual. Quickly arrange for several exquisite beauties to host a celebratory gathering for this distinguished guest. These individuals, seasoned in the ways of society, are well aware of the benefits of catering to those in power. More importantly, they recognize that establishing a connection with such influential figures can yield substantial returns. A single gift given now could potentially lead to unimaginable advantages in the future. Thus, they are meticulous in their offerings. Old Shun, immediately contact your beautiful daughter and instruct her to accompany this important figure for an evening if she agrees. You can consider your debt to us settled. Amidst the astonishment of many, a series of notifications echoed in Jiang Yuan's ears. Ding! Shot points 10. 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 Jiang Yuan rubbed his nose, pondering how he could be at home while the points seemed to descend from the heavens. In a pastel-themed milk tea shop, Su Qingyu wore a gloomy expression as she sat across from her friend, Shen Lingwu. The suitor with a monthly salary of 30,000 had officially turned her down. Feeling disheartened, she had dragged her friend out for milk tea to lift her spirits. Suddenly, Shen Lingwu received a phone call, her face reflecting utter shock. Su Qingyu casually inquired, "What's the matter?" Taking a deep breath to steady herself, Shen Lingwu replied, "Qingyu, the most luxurious villa in the Dongshan district has been purchased at double the price." Upon hearing this, Su Qingyu was instantly taken aback. The Dongshan district, the most opulent villa community in the entire southern city. Any single villa within could fetch a staggering price in the hundreds of millions. Those residing within are, without exception, the most influential figures in the city. Among these, there exists one particularly notable villa at the heart of the district, exceptional in every way. It occupies the prime location of the entire community and is rumored to be worth far more than the combined value of several neighboring villas. Both the acknowledged wealthiest man in the southern city, Su Tianhao, and the current financial mogul, Zhou Zicai, have expressed interest in it. This villa is exceedingly eye-catching. Yet, someone has audaciously purchased it at double the price. Su Qingyu's eyes sparkled with intrigue as she exclaimed, "Lingwu, you must tell me, who is this prominent figure?" Shen Lingwu shook her head. The details are unclear. It seems to be a young, single male, whose surname is Jiang. A young, single male? A prominent figure with the surname Jiang. Su Qingyu swallowed hard. Not only was he a man, but he was also single. Wasn't he the quintessential golden bachelor? Such an extraordinary man was precisely the paragon of her dreams, the embodiment of her ideal partner. If she could marry someone from such a prestigious and affluent family, her life would be devoid of worries, basking in endless wealth and grandeur. Su Qingyu hastily inquired, "What about you?" Shen Lingwu fell into a moment of silence. "My father owes money to someone, and they said that I must accompany this influential figure once as repayment." Su Qingyu understood her close friend well, aware that she valued her integrity and disliked such endeavors. However, Su Qingyu felt no such qualms. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. "Lingwu, why don't I take your place?" Shen Lingwu was taken aback. "Qingyu, are you truly willing?" Su Qingyu's gaze was fervent. "With my looks, I can charm any man. This is a splendid opportunity to enter high society." Shen Lingwu felt a pang of guilt. "But you just broke up with Jiang Yuan. If he finds out you're doing this, he might be heartbroken." Su Qingyu waved her hand dismissively. "Jiang Yuan? That impoverished fool wouldn't recognize me. Why should I care if he's upset? I'm about to soar to new heights. Why should I concern myself with his feelings?" Seeing her friend's determination and unwillingness to demean her own body, Shen Lingwu ultimately acquiesced to Su Qingyu's request. Su Qingyu's heart was brimming with joy at the thought of potentially aligning herself with wealth, elevating her status. The days ahead promised endless opulence and indulgence, a life that even celestial beings would envy. She could hardly contain her eagerness to don the most alluring attire and present herself before this distinguished figure. "I wonder how to approach this influential Mr. Jiang? Just watch my 36 strategies to captivate men. Ill employ the art of feign indifference. Or perhaps I could practice the technique of allure through subtlety." Su Qingyu's mind was consumed with strategies for ensnaring this powerful figure. As for Jiang Yuan, he had long since been cast from her thoughts, relegated to a distant memory. Chapter 3. Gifts from the elite. Jiang Yuan had meticulously packed his belongings and was poised to move into his brand-new, standalone villa. However, just as he was about to cross the threshold, he was intercepted by several impeccably dressed gentlemen in suits who had been waiting for some time. "Who are you?" Jiang Yuan inquired, somewhat perplexed. The suited men exchanged knowing smiles. "Sir, please do not misunderstand. We are associates of the homeowners in the Dongshan Villa District. Upon learning of your arrival today, they have graciously sent us to present you with a small token of goodwill." It was a customary exchange of neighborly pleasantries, an offering of gifts. Jiang Yuan nodded, acknowledging his understanding. Each of the gentlemen then produced their gift boxes, presenting them to Jiang Yuan with utmost reverence. "Sir, you may open it to appreciate the sincerity of our esteemed residents," one of the gentlemen suggested with a smile. "Very well," Jiang Yuan replied, proceeding to unveil one of the pale blue gift boxes. Inside lay a luxurious white wristwatch, resting quietly. Beep. System detection in progress. Item name: Jaquette Draws Platinum Watch. Market price: 300,000. For an ordinary individual, such an exquisite gift would surely elicit uncontainable delight. However, Jiang Yuan's discerning eye had evolved. His own assets far exceeded this figure. To him, it was merely a modest offering, an admirable gift. Please extend my gratitude to your principal. I shall reciprocate with a gift of my own in due course. He responded with composure, his demeanor unwavering. This poise instantly commanded the respect of the suited gentleman, even leaving the security personnel nearby in astonishment. Beep. Shot points 10 beep. Shot points 10 beep. Shot points 10. How could someone receiving a watch worth several hundred thousand remain unfazed? What a fool I am, given that he resides in such a place. What significance does this watch hold for him? Indeed, my mind isn't functioning well today, but his attire seems rather unconventional. What do you know? Perhaps he simply prefers to remain discreet. The wealthier individuals often opt for a more understated presence. Subsequently, Jiang Yuan adorned the watch on his wrist. Not only was it visually appealing, but it also felt quite comfortable. He found it quite delightful. Such gifts had been bestowed upon him, totaling no less than a dozen. However, he intended to examine them at a later time. For now, his curiosity was piqued regarding the interior of this villa, reputed to be the most opulent in the Dongshan district. He was eager to explore. The gentlemen, recognizing the moment, took their leave after presenting their gifts. Yet, one of them discreetly leaned closer to Jiang Yuan, whispering, "Mr. Jiang, we have prepared an exquisite beauty for you, who is currently awaiting your arrival. Might you be interested?" With that, he flashed a knowing glance that only a man would understand. An exquisite beauty? Jiang Yuan's thoughts stirred. Given that he had recently parted ways with Su Qingyu, he felt no moral qualms. To witness the so-called exquisite beauty can indeed be a delightful experience. Jiang Yuan looked at him with an understanding smile. After all, they were both men, and Jiang Yuan was no paragon of virtue. Their thoughts were unspoken, yet mutually comprehended. Under the guidance of Shun Lingwu, Su Qingyu soon found herself in a room within a villa, patiently awaiting the arrival of a distinguished guest. At that moment, she had donned an entirely new attire. The straps of her charming outfit revealed her rounded shoulders, while the audacious design exposed a generous expanse of her fair skin, exuding an aura of potent femininity. Shun Lingwu hesitated, saying, "Qingyu, perhaps I should take my leave. I feel out of place in such an environment." Su Qingyu smiled, assuring her, "That's fine. With me here, you needn't worry about your father's reprimand. I guarantee to leave this distinguished gentleman satisfied." Simultaneously, a flicker of anticipation ignited within her. She wondered what this affluent bachelor looked like. If he were unattractive, she could perhaps overlook it given his wealth. Yet if he possessed both riches and handsomeness, it would be a fortuitous double gain. Meanwhile, Jiang Yuan lingered momentarily before receiving a phone call. "Mr. Jiang, we have arranged for someone to welcome you. Please proceed this way." Following the instructions, he entered a room, placing his hand on the doorknob. As he pushed the door open, he was met by a woman seated inside, none other than Su Qingyu. Upon hearing the creak of the door, she instantly donned an alluring smile. However, the gaze that met hers was that of her financially struggling ex-boyfriend, Jiang Yuan. Their eyes locked, each taken aback. They exclaimed in unison, "What are you doing here?" Su Qingyu's reaction was swift, her mind racing with thoughts. "So, Jiang Yuan, you are still pining for me and have secretly followed me here? You must be here to beg me to stay, right? But I advise you to give up. We are no longer possible. I am about to meet an important person, so you should leave." Hearing this, Jiang Yuan raised an eyebrow. Chapter 4. In pursuit of the wealthy, Jiang Yuan gazed at her, his tone indifferent. "I did not come here to find you, nor have I been following you." Upon hearing this, Su Qingyu scoffed. A true man would dare to own up to his actions. "If you weren't specifically looking for me, then why have you suddenly appeared here? Surely, that affluent bachelor surnamed Jiang cannot be you, a mere pauper like Jiang Yuan, having already fallen prey to the misfortune of a property developer once. Would she allow herself to be deceived again?" At that moment, her peripheral vision caught sight of the exquisite watch adorning Jiang Yuan's wrist. Instantly, her eyes widened, nearly bursting into a scream. She pointed at the watch and rebuked him. "You not only stealthily followed me here, but your hands are also unclean, aren't they?" Jiang Yuan furrowed his brow, a hint of displeasure crossing his face. This watch was a gift from someone. Its origins are entirely legitimate. Su Qingyu found herself laughing in anger. A gift from someone? So, you're claiming it's stolen, and that is your excuse? Jiang Yuan rolled his eyes, feeling a profound inability to communicate with this woman, ultimately opting for silence. Observing his lack of response, Su Qingyu mistakenly believed she had struck a nerve, rendering him speechless. And she became increasingly convinced that the watch was indeed stolen by Jiang Yuan. That thief. Her disdain for Jiang Yuan deepened. Quickly glancing at her phone, she noted that the arrival of the important figure was imminent. It was best to hastily rid herself of this thief. If that esteemed individual were to see her, a woman alone with this stranger in the room, it would surely lead to misunderstandings. Jiang Yuan, you've taken advantage of me, so hurry and leave. I do not wish to see you again, she urged. Jiang Yuan, nonplussed, retorted, this is my home. Where am I supposed to go? Seeing his obstinate demeanor, Su Qingyu felt a pang of urgency. Was he attempting to play the role of a deadbeat, unwilling to leave? Taking a deep breath, she endeavored to calm herself and spoke slowly. Are you trying to leverage your past as my ex-boyfriend to coerce me? Just say it plainly. How much do you want? State your price and leave. Jiang Yuan had grown weary of her antics. He settled into a chair with ease, leisurely pouring himself a cup of tea. Why should I explain myself in my own home? Su Qingyu, witnessing his nonchalant demeanor, felt her anxiety intensify. Could it be that Jiang Yuan was resolutely determined to remain, unwilling to let her pursue a wealthy benefactor? The very thought made her restless, akin to an ant on a hot pan. The important figure would arrive shortly. Her initial stern tone gradually softened to one of resignation as she attempted to persuade Jiang Yuan. Eventually, her voice took on a pleading note, her expression one of earnest entreaty. Jiang Yuan, I implore you, for the 4 years we shared, please let me be. Take your money and leave. I am on the verge of an opportunity to marry into a wealthy family. This may be my only chance in this lifetime. I promise you, if I succeed in marrying into affluence, I shall reward you handsomely. Jiang Yuan cast a sidelong glance at her. Are you truly so eager to wed the owner of this mansion? Su Qingyu, seeing that he finally spoke, nodded vigorously. This villa is the most opulent in the entire Dongshan Villa district. Even several renowned tycoons from the South City covet it. Yet today, this mansion has been acquired by a significant figure at double the market price. Just imagine the influence and wealth of such a person. If I were to align myself with someone of such stature, my life would be worth it. Therefore, I implore you, please leave quickly. Do not let that important individual catch sight of you, lest he misinterpret our relationship. Double the price? Jiang Yuan's heart skipped a beat. This system is remarkably powerful. It has actually purchased this villa as a reward for itself, and at double the price, no less. Such extravagance suggests an utter disregard for money. This system is indeed quite audacious. Jiang Yuan began to anticipate what golden rewards he might draw next. If I were to draw another golden reward, what could the system possibly offer? Surely it would not be inferior to this villa. However, in order to participate in the lottery, I must accumulate astonishment points. That poses a challenge. Gazing at the materialistic woman before him and considering the astonishment points needed for the lottery, an idea suddenly struck Jiang Yuan. Su Qingyu, if you think I'm a thief, you may go outside and expose me. Jiang Yuan sipped his tea. I believe the owner of this house might very well admire a woman like you, who is unafraid of confronting intruders. Su Qingyu felt a sense of doubt. Jiang Yuan, have you lost your mind? You want to be a thief and invite me to report you? Is the impact of our breakup so profound? Are you not in your right mind? Do not blame me for lacking compassion. Even though we once shared feelings, that is now merely a thing of the past. Jiang Yuan shrugged, indicating she was free to act as she wished. Without hesitation, Su Qingyu burst through the door, raising her voice to alert the security. Thief! There is a thief here. Her cries immediately drew attention from outside. In an instant, a dozen burly security guards with keen eyes rushed in. The team leader shouted, Where's the thief? Su Qingyu pointed her finger directly at Jiang Yuan's head. It is this man. Not only did he trespass into this villa, but his hands are also unclean. Look at that watch on his wrist. It is stolen. Quickly, take him to the police station. Jiang Yuan remained composed, sipping his tea. The suited gentlemen who had just presented him with gifts were also witnessed by the surrounding security. They recognized him. Thus, the security guards cast a puzzled glance at Su Qingyu, and then, bending slightly at the waist, they respectfully addressed Jiang Yuan in unison. Mr. Jiang. Who is this woman? Mr. Jiang? What is happening? Su Qingyu's heart raced intensely. Something seemed amiss. Why were these guards exhibiting such deference? What exactly was Jiang Yuan's status? Chapter 5. The stunning beauty, Yao, woman. Why do these individuals regard Jiang Yuan with such reverence? Su Qingyu quickly interjected. Have you all made a mistake? This person has trespassed into a private residence and committed theft. You must apprehend him and take him to the police station at once. The security guards burst into laughter at her words. Are you out of your mind, woman? This is Mr. Jiang's home. Is returning to his own residence considered trespassing? The watch on Mr. Jiang's wrist was a token of appreciation from other homeowners, acquired through entirely legitimate means. As for who you are to slander Mr. Jiang is a thief and insist on sending him to the police, we have our doubts. Faced with the guard's inquiries, Su Qingyu was left utterly bewildered. In an instant, she struggled to comprehend this reality. The individual who had purchased the most opulent villa in South City was none other than her impoverished ex-boyfriend, Jiang Yuan. She could not reconcile these two vastly different identities in her mind. Her thoughts were in disarray. Ding. Shot points 50 ding. Shot points 50 ding. Shot points 50. The impoverished ex-boyfriend Jiang Yuan was actually the wealthy bachelor who had acquired the most luxurious villa in Dongshan district. Had her breakup with him essentially meant discarding a lottery ticket worth tens of millions? What a tremendous loss. Su Qingyu swallowed hard and reiterated, "Are you sure there is no mistake? Jiang Yuan is quite cunning. He deceived me into believing he was a displaced person. Have you all fallen for his trick as well?" The guards looked at her with disdain. "We have thoroughly verified Mr. Jiang's identity. We meticulously checked the credentials of every homeowner in Dongshan district. But you, who exactly are you?" Confronted with their probing questions, Su Qingyu felt a wave of embarrassment wash over her. She could hardly admit that she had come in place of her friend, Shun Lingwu, to accompany this important figure. That would be far too humiliating. Yet, failing to provide a plausible explanation could easily lead to her being mistaken for a trespasser or a lunatic. In her moment of desperation, she turned to Jiang Yuan for help. However, he merely lowered his head to sip his tea, seemingly disinterested in her plight. "I have no idea how she ended up here," he stated calmly. The guards were prepared to escort Su Qingyu to the police station. In a panic, she cried out, "Jiang Yuan, you cannot send me to the police station like this. Have you forgotten our 4 years together?" Jiang Yuan took a deep breath and replied coolly, "Su Qingyu, when you chose to end our relationship for the sake of a blind date, it seems you did not consider our 4 years together. You rushed into the arms of a wealthy man immediately after our breakup, seemingly without a second thought for our time together. And now, when you were so eager to report me as a thief to the police, you certainly did not reflect on our 4 years. Why should I contemplate our shared past now?" Su Qingyu was rendered speechless, unable to articulate a response. Guilt flooded her heart. At this moment, even she felt that she had acted excessively, even giving rise to thoughts of self-reproach. Had she known, would it not have been more fulfilling to lead a steady life with Jiang Yuan? In retrospect, perhaps he had merely feigned poverty to test her. Little did she expect that her decision to break up with him for a man from a blind date would lead her to such a predicament. Everything seemed to stem from her disdain for the poor and her pursuit of quick success. Su Qingyu felt a deep regret that gnawed at her insides. Jiang Yuan waved his hand dismissively. "Please escort her out. I do not wish to see this person." Consequently, despite Su Qingyu's desperate attempts to plead for her stay, she was unceremoniously thrust outside by the security guards. To make matters worse, she was directly deposited onto the street, where numerous onlookers witnessed the scene unfold. How did she end up being thrown out? Could she be a thief? They murmured, astonished by her youth and beauty, only to discover she was accused of theft. Listening to the whispers surrounding her, Su Qingyu wished she could sink into the ground, hastily fleeing in a fit of humiliation and anger. Meanwhile, Jiang Yuan's mind was still echoing with the system notifications. Ding. Shot points 10 ding. Shot points 10 ding. Shot points 10. It seemed that Su Qingyu had been left profoundly astonished. Jiang Yuan shook his head and continued his tour of the villa. The property management at Dongshan Villa was quite adept, promptly arranging for a stunning companion to accompany him after the earlier incident. Soon, an alluring office lady, clad in a white blouse and a form-fitting skirt, gracefully appeared before Jiang Yuan. She possessed a charming round face and captivating, enchanting eyes, radiating youthful allure. Her figure was extraordinarily voluptuous, exuding an air of ambition, a true embodiment of beauty. "Hello, Mr. Jiang. My name is Yao Wenwen. I have been assigned to serve you, and I can fulfill all your requests." The office lady introduced herself with a sweet smile. System detection in progress. Name, Yao Wenwen. Age, 22. Attractiveness, 9. 3. Figure, 9. 2. Position, female steward. Monthly salary, 40,000. Note, attractiveness scores above 9 are considered top-tier beauties above 9. 5 is campus queens, and 9 is goddesses. Jiang Yuan nodded in acknowledgement, responding nonchalantly, "All right." He felt an eagerness to explore his luxurious villa. Other matters could be attended to later, as time was abundant. Observing Jiang Yuan's nonchalant demeanor, Yao Wenwen felt a twinge of dissatisfaction. He was the first man who seemed unperturbed by her physical allure. This man was indeed extraordinary. Yao Wenwen led Jiang Yuan on a tour of the villa. They first arrived at an exceptionally spacious living room, which measured no less than 500 square meters. An emerald crystal chandelier hung overhead, while beneath it rested gray and beige sofas. Item name: Emerald Crystal Chandelier. Item price: market value approximately 7 million. Goodness. Just the chandeliers alone were encrusted with gems, totaling a staggering value of 7 million. It was rather delightful, exuding a sense of grandeur. The two then proceeded to a restaurant that was not only spacious, but also equipped with an array of prestigious culinary tools. However, Jiang Yuan furrowed his brow and remarked, "I cannot cook. Please hire a chef." Without delay, Yao Wenwen made a phone call. Shortly thereafter, over 100 young and aesthetically pleasing chefs appeared before Jiang Yuan. "These are 100 chef candidates provided by our property management. Please select personally." Jiang Yuan surveyed the diverse array of chefs, stroking his chin thoughtfully. At first glance, one chef immediately captured his attention, for she was extraordinarily captivating. Name: Xiaoya. Age: 21. Aesthetic score: 9. Physique score: 9. 4. Occupation: chef. Culinary level: Level 3. Monthly salary: 20,000. Note: Culinary level 1 denotes a regular chef. Level 2 signifies a junior chef. And level 3 indicates a mid-level chef, with salaries substantially increasing alongside their rank. Indeed, while Xiaoya's beauty may not have surpassed that of Yao Wenwen, her physique was undeniably exceptional. Truly, she was extraordinarily impressive. Jiang Yuan pointed decisively. "It's her. She shall be my personal chef." Chapter 6. Selecting Chefs. Another lottery. Yao Wenwen nodded. "All right, have you decided to hire just this one?" Jiang Yuan immediately shook his head. "One is hardly sufficient. Only a child would make such a choice. Adults desire them all. Why not have several beautiful chefs? Not only are they a feast for the eyes, but they also satisfy hunger, which is truly delightful." Jiang Yuan began to sift through the 100 or so candidates. He dismissed the men, then eliminated the unattractive women. He retained those who were not only beautiful, but also possessed elegance, stature, and culinary prowess, narrowing it down to 36 stunning female chefs. Each boasted a score of at least 9 in appearance and a culinary level above 3. However, Jiang Yuan lacked a concrete understanding of their cooking skills. "How about this? You shall prepare a dish for me to taste right here," Jiang Yuan stated directly. Upon hearing this, Yao Wenwen immediately directed the 36 beautiful chefs to commence their preparations. Jiang Yuan contemplated for a moment before adding, "I shall select the 3 most delectable dishes, and the winners will be crowned as culinary goddesses, each earning a salary of 500,000. 500,000. The moment these words escaped his lips, the 36 beautiful chefs were taken aback, their faces reflecting astonishment. Such a generous salary. Surely, only the head chefs of national banquet restaurants could command such remuneration. Ding. Shot points 20 ding. Shot points 20 ding. Shot points 20. Flames of ambition ignited in the eyes of the 36, filled with a sense of competition. Yao Wenwen was equally taken aback. "Mr. Jiang, I actually cook as well. Might I join the contest?" Jiang Yuan chuckled softly. "What dishes could you possibly prepare? Sit beside me and enjoy the delicacies. Rest assured, if you impress me, 500,000 will be but a trifle." Upon hearing this, a shy smile blossomed on Yao Wenwen's face as she settled closer to Jiang Yuan. Soon, a series of exquisite dishes were presented. First came a vibrant, spicy, and fragrant boiled fish. As Jiang Yuan sampled a piece, he found the fish succulent and flavorful. Next was a plate of sweet and sour squirrel fish, followed by a lavish bowl of Buddha jumps over the wall, a deliciously simple water-bathed cabbage, Wensi tofu, kung pao chicken, and longjing shrimp. Surrounded by beauty and an abundance of culinary delights, Jiang Yuan felt elated. Meanwhile, the 36 beautiful chefs watched him anxiously, eager to learn the results of the competition. After approximately an hour, Jiang Yuan finally selected the 3 dishes that tantalized his palate the most. Name: Yin. Age: 19. Beauty score: 9. 4. Figure score: 9. 5. Culinary skill level. For monthly salary: 40,000. Name: Jiang Shi. Age: 23. Beauty score: 9. 3. Figure score: 9. For culinary skill level: 5. Monthly salary: 60,000. Name: Xiao Xen. Age: 24. Beauty score: 9. 4. Figure score: 9. 6. Culinary skill level: 5. Monthly salary: 60,000. With a commanding voice, Jiang Yuan issued a decree promoting these 3 women to the esteemed title of culinary goddesses. Their culinary skill levels surged instantly by 3 ranks, and their salaries transformed into an astounding 500,000. Shock painted the faces of Jiang Shishir and her companions. Their master was indeed serious, not jesting. The sudden increase in their salaries left them astonished. How wealthy could their master be? Yao Wenwen, standing nearby, was equally taken aback, realizing that her poverty had severely limited her imagination. Jiang Yuan, savoring the delectable cuisine while gazing at the stunning beauties, felt his spirits lift. When in high spirits, fortune often favors. Thus, he summoned the system and casually attempted a single draw to celebrate. To his astonishment, luck was on his side, and he hit the jackpot, receiving an immediate reward. As his fingers glided over the mystery box, a radiant golden light burst forth, accompanied by a dazzling display of rainbow hues. Critical reward: 51 shares in the Fiskalton restaurant. Jiang Yuan gazed in awe at the golden prize he had drawn, exclaiming softly, "Goodness!" Although it was also a golden reward, this one was evidently far superior to the last. The adage, "Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime," rang true. While winning a luxurious villa previously felt gratifying, it was merely real estate and could not provide a continuous income. This time, however, he had acquired a substantial shareholding in a restaurant. According to the rules, once he held over 50 of the shares, he would become the majority stakeholder, effectively the true owner of the establishment. This meant he would receive substantial dividends from the restaurant's revenue periodically. It was akin to possessing a money-generating asset, a veritable golden goose. Jiang Yuan was elated, realizing he had drawn a creature that laid golden eggs. Earning money while reclining was a far more delightful prospect than acquiring mere luxury items. Breathing alone could yield income. Was there anything more pleasurable? All he needed to do was sit back and await the company's dividends. With a tranquil heart, he continued to wander through the villa, accompanied by Yao Wenwen. In the villa's rear garden, numerous gardeners and maids greeted him respectfully, bowing as they said, "Hello, Mr. Jiang." He responded with a warm smile to each. In the private swimming pool, he instructed the maids to don elegant swimsuits and join him in playful frolics in the water. The maids employed within this luxurious villa are each exceptional in both figure and beauty. Among them, one named Sun Yahan stands out, her physique leaving Jiang Yuan somewhat astonished. Su Qingyu possesses commendable qualities herself, but after seeing so many, Jiang Yuan has grown accustomed to her allure. In contrast, Sun Yahan embodies an extraordinarily captivating charm, making a striking impression from the very first encounter. Name: Sun Yahan. Age: 22. Beauty score: 9.6. Figure score: 9.6. Occupation: maid. Maid level: 5. Monthly salary: 50,000. Each time he sees her, it seems as though he discovers a new and enchanting quality about her. Especially when Sun Yahan dons a swimsuit, Jiang Yuan indulges in a visual feast. "President Jiang, why are you staring at me?" Sun Yahan shyly lowered her head. Jiang Yuan laughed heartily, engaging in playful antics in the pool, which evoked envy from many other maids. Yahan is quite favored. President Jiang seems to be having a splendid time with her. Indeed, with Yahan's figure and beauty, many starlets outside pale in comparison. We must step up our game, lest President Jiang's attention be entirely captivated by Yahan. With sunshine, a gentle breeze, exquisite beauty, and a serene pool, Jiang Yuan finds his days exceedingly comfortable. Chapter 7. A joyous holiday. Together, Jiang Yuan relished a few delightful days, feeling a profound sense of pleasure and relaxation in every cell of his being. The enchanting culinary talents of the beautiful chefs at home were not only a feast for the eyes, but also a testament to their exceptional skills. They mastered the 8 major cuisines, including Sichuan, Shandong, and Huaiyang. On occasion, a few comforting home-cooked dishes like sweet and sour ribs or savory tofu provided a delightful change. The maids, too, were multi-talented, accompanying him in swimming, fitness, and golf, leading to a life brimming with joy. However, after a few days of staying in, Jiang Yuan kept them working tirelessly without offering them a moment's respite. Today, he made a momentous decision. Today, we shall take a break and enjoy a sumptuous meal at the most luxurious restaurant in South City, Jiang Yuan declared. As soon as he uttered his decision, a wave of cheers erupted. "Hooray! A staff gathering, long live the boss! The most luxurious restaurant? Which one is Mr. Jiang inviting us to? Are you really that clueless? The most opulent restaurant in South City is undoubtedly the Ritz-Carlton in the city center. It must be incredibly expensive. I hardly dare to dine there more than a few times a year. One dish costs as much as my monthly salary. Our boss is amazing. He taking us to such an exquisite place for a staff meal. Ding. Shop points 20 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 ding. Shop points 20. A warm current surged through Yao Wenwen's heart. In other companies, even for team-building purposes, the bosses would typically settle for a simple meal at an ordinary hotel. Slightly larger companies might opt for a better hotel, but a top-tier luxury establishment like the Ritz-Carlton was usually reserved for intimate dinners with partners. To take so many employees to the Ritz-Carlton for a gathering was an utterly astonishing notion to outsiders. It was common knowledge that the expenses there were exorbitant, with an average cost exceeding $100,000 per person at such a lavish restaurant. What boss would dare to treat a large group to such a meal without risking financial ruin? Yet, Jiang Yuan appeared utterly unfazed, assuring that every maid and chef could indulge in complimentary staff meals as a reward for their diligent work over the past days. Yao Wenwen had never encountered a boss so considerate of his employees, and she felt a wave of emotion wash over her. Simultaneously, she was taken aback. With at least 100 people under his command and the restaurant's average expense at over 100,000, the prospect of bankrupting the boss was entirely plausible. One person is 100,000, 10 people are 1,000,000, and that's based on the minimum spending. Boss, do you wish to reconsider? I can meticulously calculate the expenses for this staff gathering. Yao Wenwen inquired with uncertainty. She feared her boss might not be particularly adept at mathematics. Otherwise, how could he make such a bold decision? To his surprise, Jiang Yuan casually swept his hand and gracefully wrapped an arm around her slender waist. Look at you. All frugal and reserved. Such a habit must be corrected. No second chances. Today, I shall cover all expenses without hesitation. Yao Wenwen felt her cheeks flush as she absorbed his bold and confident words. In that instant, she found Jiang Yuan's extravagant demeanor irresistibly charming. Although Jiang Yuan's looks were already nearly perfect, akin to a golden beetle in the fields, the brightest star in the night sky, the most striking figure on the street. At that moment, Yao Wenwen was still awestruck by his handsomeness. Thus, amidst the joyful atmosphere, they prepared to set off. However, the choice of transportation posed a dilemma. It was only then that Jiang Yuan smacked his forehead, realizing, in my eagerness to indulge in delicacies and revel in merriment, I completely forgot to procure a few fine vehicles. Yao Wenwen, ever considerate, reassured him, let's purchase cars next time. For now, we can rent a few. Jiang Yuan, with a resigned gesture, replied, very well, let's rent a few cars for now and later acquire some luxury vehicles. Consequently, Jiang Yuan took the lead, renting a modest convertible Mercedes-Benz E-Class, followed by a convoy of several sports cars heading toward the restaurant. Throughout the journey, Jiang Yuan lamented inwardly. Had he chosen to buy a dozen luxury cars, it would undoubtedly have attracted astonished gazes from passers-by, garnering him an abundance of astonishment points for future rewards. But alas, it was too late now. Suddenly, he noticed a peculiar phenomenon. Huh? What is this? Why are there so many astonishment points from the onlookers? Even Jiang Yuan himself was astonished. Although he was driving the most expensive rental car, it was still not particularly extravagant and could be seen frequently on the streets. There was no reason for the pedestrians to be amazed. He attentively listened to the whispers around him. This young man is quite handsome, though his car is rather ordinary. He must have some wealth. What a heartthrob. No wonder he drives a convertible. If I looked like him, I would too. Jiang Yuan stumbled slightly, realizing that their astonishment stemmed from his appearance. Ah, these admirers of beauty. Yet, who among them was not captivated by looks? It was reminiscent of the time when the vain and materialistic Su Qingyu chose to be with Jiang Yuan for 4 years, primarily attracted by his near-perfect visage. Otherwise, given her financial outlook, she would have never considered him. She was, without a doubt, a devoted admirer of beauty, particularly enamored by Jiang Yuan's face. Regrettably, Su Qingyu ultimately succumbed to the intoxicating allure of wealth, leading her to a fate steeped in remorse and regret. The mere thought of Su Qingyu prompted Jiang Yuan to shake his head. These events belong to the past. One must learn to look ahead. Jiang Yuan pondered. Indeed, one must master the art of bidding farewell to bygone days. As the saying goes, one must let go of the old for the new to arrive. A more promising sister awaits in the future. Chapter 8. Targeted by a wealthy woman, dozens of vehicles swiftly arrived at the Ritz-Carlton restaurant. However, rather than simply being a restaurant, its opulent and luxurious decor rendered it akin to a modern palace, resplendent and imposing. As Jiang Yuan descended from the car, he gazed at the magnificent establishment, his heart swelling with excitement. The lavishness of this place was reminiscent of a royal palace. No wonder the average expenditure exceeded 100,000. As the largest shareholder here, Wu Ti, he received a substantial sum each quarter. He pondered with anticipation about the potential dividends. His eyes sparkled as he surveyed the restaurant. On the third floor of the Ritz-Carlton, two affluent ladies were enjoying afternoon tea, chatting and laughing together. When their peripheral vision caught a glimpse of the scene below, they were momentarily taken aback. What a handsome young man! The striking appearance of this man captivated them instantly. Despite the distance, they both recognized Jiang Yuan as a paragon of beauty. In an instant, they felt a rush of excitement, struggling to maintain composure. Jiang Yuan's allure was undeniably magnetic. The two ladies, one plump and one slender, presented a stark contrast. The younger, radiant beauty named Su Jinxiu was a vision of youth and charm, while the other, Su Jinfeng, was older and more robust. Her beauty faded with age. Within 3 minutes, I want all the information on this young man, Su Jinxiu declared, her eyes gleaming with interest. A few minutes later, Jiang Yuan's basic details were presented to them. The information revealed that he was a courier with a monthly salary of 3,000. Rather than displaying disappointment, the two women exchanged looks of satisfaction. A man like this would be easier to pursue. Su Jinfeng spoke first. Sister, I spotted him first. You mustn't compete with me. Su Jinxiu hesitated, unwilling to part with such a striking young man. However, considering her sister's less appealing circumstances, she felt reluctant to challenge her. After all, she had no shortage of admirers, unlike her sister. Acknowledging their sisterly bond, Su Jinxiu reluctantly nodded. All right. Sister, you must help me bring him upstairs, Su Jinfeng shyly requested. Su Jinxiu acquiesced, instructing one of her suited attendants to go downstairs. As Jiang Yuan prepared to enter the restaurant, he was intercepted by a suited gentleman. Good day, sir. My lady wishes to invite you upstairs for a conversation, the man said respectfully. Jiang Yuan, somewhat perplexed, inquired, Who is your lady? The suited man gestured towards the upper floor. Following his gaze, Jiang Yuan indeed spotted a stunning young woman smiling at him, her beauty rated no less than 9.6. Even amidst the array of campus beauties he had encountered recently, she stood out remarkably. She is quite lovely. I wonder what she wants from me? Jiang Yuan mused. The suited man noticed that Jiang Yuan did not immediately follow him, and leaned closer to whisper in his ear. Sir, my master may greatly appreciate your appearance and wishes to exchange a few words with you. Jiang Yuan suddenly realized that yet another admirer of beauty had approached him. After all, he himself was not devoid of vanity. A glance at the stunning beauty upstairs with a score of 9.6 piqued his interest. Very well. I shall accompany you upstairs, Jiang Yuan replied. He instructed Yao Wenwan to guide the group to their seats temporarily, promising to join them shortly. Following the suited gentleman, Jiang Yuan ascended the stairs. However, upon reaching the upper floor, an unsettling feeling washed over him. A portly middle-aged woman was scrutinizing him with narrowed eyes, while the exquisite young lady he had noticed earlier sat obediently beside her. May I inquire who you are? Jiang Yuan asked, perplexed. I am Su Jinfeng, and this is my sister, Su Jinxiu, the woman replied, deftly polishing her nails with a nail clipper. The Su family was renowned in Nancheng as a prominent financial dynasty, and these sisters were the successors of this illustrious lineage. Their names frequently graced the headlines of newspapers and financial sections, and Jiang Yuan was somewhat familiar with their reputation. May I ask what brings you both to seek my company? Is there a business matter at hand? Jiang Yuan inquired. At his words, Su Jinfeng cast him an intrigued glance. I prefer to speak plainly, without beating around the bush, she stated. Subsequently, her suited aide produced 3 items and placed them before Jiang Yuan: a car key, a red property deed, and an employment offer letter. This is the key to a Lamborghini, fully equipped. This document is the deed to a property in the Minghu Villa District, a prestigious area in Nancheng. Second only to the Dongshan Villa District, where properties start at no less than 10 million. And this is your employment offer from Sadani Corporation, a Fortune 500 company, where employees typically possess at least a 985-level education. Su Jinxiu pushed the 3 items toward Jiang Yuan, her smile radiating mischief. If you are willing to become my brother-in-law, then all of this shall be yours. The aides nearby could not help but display expressions of envy and jealousy toward Jiang Yuan. Should he accept, he would effectively sidestep 50 years of struggle. They lamented internally, wishing not to toil any longer, but lamented their lack of the same allure. Yet, upon witnessing this scene, Jiang Yuan felt an overwhelming surge of indignation. Was this an attempt to buy his allegiance and reduce him to a mere trophy husband? In the past, he might have wavered in the face of such an enticing offer. Perhaps if it had been the breathtaking Su Jinxiu making the proposition, he might have considered it. But circumstances had changed. What was a top-tier Lamborghini worth? Merely a few million, hardly more than the cost of a tenfold lottery draw. The luxury of the Minghu Villa district paled in comparison to his residence in Dongshan. As for the job offer from a Fortune 500 company, a wealthy individual like him had no desire to be subservient to others. Moreover, the one making the request was none other than the elderly and corpulent Su Jinfang. Consequently, Jiang Yuan chuckled rather impolitely, stating, "I fear I cannot acquiesce to your demands." Su Jinfang continued to fiddle with the nail clipper in her hand, remarking, "Mr. Jiang, as a courier earning a mere 3,000 a month, you should have no reason to decline." Unfazed, she believed Jiang Yuan was merely exhibiting a facade of modesty. However, Jiang Yuan shook his head and replied earnestly, "No, you are mistaken. I have my reasons." The Su sisters were momentarily taken aback, inquiring, "What reasons?" Jiang Yuan, with utmost seriousness, declared, "I cannot accept my wife walking as though riding a pig." Upon hearing this, Su Jinfang's face turned an ashen hue, her finger trembling as she pointed at Jiang Yuan. The surrounding gentlemen in suits struggled to stifle their amusement. Su Jinxiu, too, found Jiang Yuan's remark somewhat amusing. Yet sensing her sister's intent to confront him, she hastily intervened, saying, "Sister, if he is unwilling, then let it be." Simultaneously, she discreetly signaled Jiang Yuan to depart swiftly, lest her sister press him further, for she could hardly bear the thought of her sister causing any harm to such a handsome gentleman. Chapter 9. Why should I leave my home? A flicker of fury ignited within Su Jinfang's eyes. She could not fathom the idea of her partner walking as if astride a swine. Jiang Yuan's remark pierced her heart like a dagger. She was on the verge of shouting for the suited men to seize him and administer a thorough beating. Observing this, Su Jinxiu hastily interjected, "If you are unwilling, then just leave." At the same time, she gently caressed her sister, seeking to soothe her anger. However, Jiang Yuan had no intention of departing. He boldly settled himself down, casually returning the 3 items from earlier. In the throes of her rage, Su Jinfang surprisingly regained her composure. She fixed her gaze on Jiang Yuan and enunciated each word. "Are you not leaving?" With a nonchalant smile, Jiang Yuan responded, "I remain not for you." He extended his right hand, effortlessly grasping Su Jinxiu's hand. The lovely young lady, whose name he did not know, was taken aback. "Shall we be introduced?" This simple gesture and statement left everyone momentarily stunned. Ding. Shot points 10 ding. Shot points 10 ding. Shot points 10. This audacious fellow was risking his life, provoking Su Jinfang to such an extent, yet choosing to linger. Even daring to flirt with the second daughter of the Su family? How brazen. Just a mere courier, yet his audacity was commendable. Our brother is truly fierce. He is exceptional. Perhaps we should place a call to order a coffin, for I sense he is courting disaster. The youthful and beautiful Su Jinxiu felt a flush rise to her cheeks. Jiang Yuan's warm hand enveloped her own, imparting a profound sense of security. Had any other man dared such a thing, she would have had him torn to shreds. Yet Jiang Yuan, with his striking appearance, was an exception. She wished he would hold her hand a moment longer. However, sensing the murderous intent in her sister's eyes, Su Jinxiu hastily withdrew her hand, flustered. "I am Su Jinxiu. You should really leave, or there may be serious consequences." Jiang Yuan chuckled. "Why should I depart?" Su Jinfang scoffed. "Not leaving? Do you consider this place your home?" To everyone's astonishment, Jiang Yuan nodded earnestly. "This is indeed my home." Su Jinfang laughed in disbelief. "Your home? With such good looks? It seems your mind is not quite intact." Upon hearing this, Su Jinxiu looked at Jiang Yuan with growing concern. Such a handsome young man could not possibly be a fool, could he? That would be a tragic waste of beauty. The surrounding suited men exchanged looks of profound sympathy. I wondered how this lad could refuse those 3 items. It turns out he is indeed a simpleton. A mansion in Minghu, a top-tier Lamborghini, a position in a Fortune 500 company. Only a fool would turn those down. Alas, this fool was fortunate indeed, blessed with striking looks despite his apparent lack of intellect. If only he were of sound mind, he might have saved himself 50 years of struggle. Thus, the consensus among all was that Jiang Yuan was a simpleton. Indeed, those who can claim the Ritz-Carlton restaurant as their own are hardly ordinary individuals. Just then, a knock echoed to the door. Tap, tap, tap. The Su sisters were taken aback. Their ordered dishes had already been served, so who would dare to knock so abruptly? Su Jinxiu gestured, and a gentleman in a suit approached to open the door. A server clad in crimson entered the room, carrying a bottle of remarkably precious wine. "Good day, this is your national treasure, Fengjiu. Please enjoy, the server said with a polite smile. National treasure Fingio. The Su sisters were momentarily stunned, being well-versed in fine things. They recognized this as an exquisite liquor valued at 2 million. Such a rarity is typically priceless, and one cannot simply purchase it with wealth alone. Could there be some mistake? We didn't order this bottle, Su Jinxian remarked, bewildered. Despite her considerable status, she had not yet descended into the extravagance of indulging in a 2 million yuan bottle of wine. The server bowed respectfully. This is a gift from our manager. A gift? For free? Upon hearing this, the Su sisters were even more confounded. Was the manager of the Ritz-Carlton restaurant out of their mind? To present them with a 2 million yuan bottle of prestigious wine for no charge at all was utterly incomprehensible. As the Su sisters stood in bewilderment, this was merely the beginning. One after another, servers continued to enter the room. Good day. This is our manager's gift of limited edition Islay whiskey. Good day. This is our manager's gift of tequila lay. 925. Good day. This is our manager's gift of fine champagne cognac. Bottle after bottle of extraordinarily rare liquor graced their table, ranging from millions to tens of millions in value, leaving the Su sisters utterly astonished. Despite their considerable assets, they had never encountered such a lavish manager. To bestow such exquisite, exorbitant wines was beyond madness. Who is your manager, and why is he bestowing us with wine? Su Jinxian inquired, still perplexed. She felt she might be caught in some misunderstanding. Meanwhile, Su Jinxiu discreetly glanced at Jiang Yuan, her woman's intuition sensing something. Could all this be connected to this charming young man? A bold thought emerged in her mind, only to be quickly dismissed as absurd. How could a mere courier be related to the Ritz-Carlton restaurant? As the Su sisters looked on in utter disbelief, the table filled with exquisite wines. A plump middle-aged man entered, laughing heartily. He was Manager Wang of the Ritz-Carlton restaurant. Upon seeing Manager Wang, Su Jinxian hurriedly rose. Manager Wang, what is happening? However, Manager Wang paid her no mind, striding directly to Jiang Yuan. Standing tall, he straightened his posture and bowed deeply, displaying utmost respect. Boss Jiang, these fine wines are a small token of appreciation from us. Please enjoy them with your friends. Boss Jiang. The utterance of these 3 words resonated like a thunderclap. Ding. Shot points 50 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 ding. Shot points 50. Su Jinfang's lips quivered slightly, her eyelids twitching incessantly, utterly at a loss for words. Meanwhile, Su Jinxiu's captivating gaze scrutinized Jiang Yuan, as if she aimed to penetrate the depths of his being. The jaws of the suited man's subordinates nearly dropped in astonishment. It turned out he was indeed a true magnate, where he claimed this was his residence. He was utterly sincere. What a remarkable figure. On the surface, he appeared to be a mere courier earning a modest salary of 3,000 a month, yet in reality, he was the proprietor of a prestigious restaurant. Chapter 10. Is this truly your home? Gulp. Su Jinfang swallowed hard, casting a cautious glance at Jiang Yuan. With a slight stutter, she inquired, Manager Wang, may I ask who this Mr. Jiang is? This is Mr. Jiang Yuan, the principal shareholder of our Ritz-Carlton restaurant. He is indeed the one who holds the reins here. I, in my capacity as manager, am merely an employee who must completely adhere to Mr. Jiang's directives. Just a few days ago, Mr. Jiang acquired shares from several major stakeholders at a price several times higher than before. So it can be said that this restaurant is now his. Manager Wang then expressed some confusion. If you are unfamiliar with Mr. Jiang, why are you dining together? Initially, Manager Wang and the Ritz-Carlton executives had received news of the principal shareholder's arrival at the restaurant. Simultaneously, as Mr. Jiang was dining in the Su sisters' room, he instinctively assumed they were acquainted and celebrating together. Thus, he had meticulously prepared an array of fine wines to curry favor and enliven the atmosphere. However, the current situation appeared to deviate from his expectations, as the Su sisters seemed not to be well acquainted with Mr. Jiang. Manager Wang glanced inquiringly at Jiang Yuan. Without Mr. Jiang's indication, he dared not speak freely. He was a perceptive individual, having navigated social circles for many years and was adept at reading the room. Jiang Yuan chuckled. Manager Wang? Startled, Manager Wang quickly replied, You can call me Xiao Wang. What instructions do you have, Mr. Jiang? Jiang Yuan casually picked up a bottle of Fingio, uncapping it and drinking heartily. After a few generous sips, he wiped his mouth and said nonchalantly, Xiao Wang, I have no particular instructions. Just remember to keep things low-key next time. You may leave now. Upon hearing this, Manager Wang nearly stumbled in shock. Low-key, Mr. Jiang prefers a subtle approach rather than a grand display with fine wines to elevate the occasion. He mentally noted this and quickly retreated with a sycophantic smile, fearful of inadvertently creating further complications. Offending Mr. Jiang could render him, Manager Wang, as fragile as a paper figure, easily torn apart. No one would come to his rescue. Once Manager Wang departed, an eerie silence enveloped the room. The stillness was palpable, as if one could hear a pin drop. The men in suits regarded Jiang Yuan with the same awe one might reserve for a mythical creature. Just moments ago, Jiang Yuan had seemed no more than a mere courier, akin to a small ant scurrying across the floor. Yet, in an instant, he transformed into a formidable figure, the supreme overlord of the Ritz-Carlton restaurant. The shift in status was staggering. It dawned on them. They had been foolish, utterly naive. How could we not see that this dashing young man was anything but ordinary? No wonder he promptly declined the elder Su's request. He truly is the real deal. This Ritz-Carlton restaurant indeed belongs to him. A group of individuals exchanged bewildered glances, utterly at a loss. Ding. Shock points 10. As Jiang Yuan continuously listened to the system notifications echoing in his ears, he savored the exquisite taste of a fine bottle of wine. This Fungio was extraordinary, smooth on the palate, and glided effortlessly down his throat. The tequila and whiskey were the epitome of luxury, their aromas intoxicating and refreshing. Oblivious to his surroundings, Jiang Yuan indulged in his drink with utter contentment. For a moment, the Su sisters found themselves at a loss for words, hesitant and intimidated. They felt somewhat constrained, aware that speaking too much could lead to missteps. At that moment, they refrained from uttering anything that might offend a figure like Jiang Yuan. Particularly, Su Jinfang wore an expression of fear and confusion on her plump face, her earlier bravado having vanished completely. She felt akin to a jester, a stark contrast to her previous aggressive demeanor. The luxurious Lamborghini, the residence in Minghu District, and the opportunity at a Fortune 500 company. She had presented these three symbols of status to Jiang Yuan with an air of superiority, relishing the feeling of wielding power. Yet now, in hindsight, she regarded herself as a fool, utterly foolish. What did the posh Lamborghini signify when it likely amounted to less than 1% of the monthly revenue of a high-end establishment like the Ritz-Carlton? Such a luxury vehicle could easily be purchased by Jiang Yuan without a second thought. The Lamborghini was beneath his notice, unworthy of his stature. And as for the house in Minghu District, a person of Jiang Yuan's caliber would undoubtedly reside in the premier properties of Dongshan District, rendering the Minghu District's offerings trivial. The prospect of a job at a Fortune 500 company seemed even more ludicrous. Would someone of his stature ever settle for being an employee, laboring under another's command? The very notion was absurd. As Su Jinfang reflected on her earlier ostentation, she felt increasingly like a clown, her earlier display now revealing her true absurdity. She stood frozen, as if petrified, unable to speak. It was Jiang Yuan who broke the silence, though he didn't deign to acknowledge Su Jinfang, instead addressing the young and beautiful Su Jinxiu. Miss Su, I shall gift you the remaining wine. Do visit me at Dongshan District when you have the time. I would be delighted to host you. However, I must take my leave now as I have some matters to attend to. Upon hearing this, the Su sisters exchanged astonished glances, their eyes wide with disbelief. Dongshan District. It was known as the gathering place for the city's elite. While the Su sisters had some assets, they were far from the status required to reside in Dongshan District. It was now clear that Jiang Yuan indeed belonged to that echelon, and his disdain for the Minghu District properties was not without reason. Moreover, Jiang Yuan unexpectedly bestowed an entire table of exquisite wines, which must amount to a staggering sum. This is truly extravagant. It exudes an air of opulence. Su Jinfang swallowed hard. She had thought that the three items she had just presented were already quite generous. Yet now she realized that she was merely a frog at the bottom of a well, a minor figure compared to the grandiosity before her. Her offerings, though intended as gifts to Jiang Yuan, were merely her own possessions shared with him. In stark contrast, Jiang Yuan's gifts were genuine treasures. The value of this table of fine wines, collectively, it was an astronomical figure. He offered it without so much as a blink. Compared to Jiang Yuan, she felt utterly insignificant. Meanwhile, the young and beautiful Su Jinxiu blushed as she nodded repeatedly, feeling like a bashful young bride, unable to lift her gaze before Jiang Yuan. Overwhelmed with embarrassment, Jiang Yuan laughed heartily and departed from the room with an air of effortless elegance, leaving the Su sisters in stunned silence, unable to find their voices for a long while. Chapter 11. The exorbitant menu. After departing from the Su sisters, Jiang Yuan made his way directly to join Yao Wenwen and her companions. However, the atmosphere within the restaurant was rather tense at that moment. Upon closer inspection, Jiang Yuan found it somewhat amusing. The cause of this peculiar ambience was none other than the enchanting housekeeper, Yao Wenwen, alongside three culinary goddesses, Yi Yin, Xiao Xian, Jiang Shishir, and the strikingly beautiful Xiaoya and Sun Yahan. Typically, such stunning women, akin to campus beauties, were a rare sight. Yet today, they seemed to have emerged in droves, all seated at the same table. The presence of these goddesses instantly illuminated the room. One goddess alone would be captivating enough, but a gathering of them dining together resembled a picturesque masterpiece. This spectacle undoubtedly attracted the gaze of many men, who covertly stole glances at Yao Wenwen and her entourage from the corners of their eyes. Ironically, these men were accompanied by their own partners, much to the chagrin of the latter. Frustrated, one partner slammed her hands on the table, exclaiming, "What are you staring at?" The man, feigning indifference, replied, "Nothing. Just mind your image. Don't be so petty. I only glanced a couple of times." Infuriated, the partner retorted, "Petty? Me?" Such scenes were ubiquitous. Jiang Yuan couldn't help but shake his head, chuckling inwardly. The ancients spoke of beauties being a source of calamity, and it seemed this adage held true. One beauty alone could topple a kingdom, and here were dozens of goddesses. The potential for chaos was indeed significant. However, when Jiang Yuan entered the collective gaze of all present, the atmosphere shifted once more. After all, Jiang Yuan was a near-perfect paragon of male beauty. It is said that no one is immune to the allure of looks, or perhaps everyone is susceptible to it. As the handsome Jiang Yuan strolled into the restaurant with an air of grace, he instantly captivated the attention of all the female companions. The tide had turned dramatically. All the partners couldn't help but glance at the handsome Jiang Yuan, their cheeks flushing with warmth the longer they stared. How can this young man be so strikingly handsome? His complexion is so fair. I wonder how enchanting his smile must be. Witnessing this, the men were seething with indignation. One man slammed his hands on the table, demanding, "What are you looking at?" The partner, once again indifferent, responded, "Nothing, just mind your image. Don't be so petty. I only glanced a couple of times." The man, now exasperated, retorted, "Me? Petty?" Jiang Yuan couldn't help but touch his nose, realizing that the allure of beauty could indeed be a source of turmoil, not just for women, but for men as well. However, when he approached Yao Wenwen's table, he noticed that no one had ordered a single dish. Puzzled, Jiang Yuan inquired, "Aren't you hungry? Let us order something." The goddesses exchanged glances, feeling somewhat uneasy and hesitant to speak. It was ultimately Yao Wenwen, as the eldest among them, who prompted, "Boss, the dishes here are too expensive. We cannot afford to bear the consequences of ordering on our own." "Expensive?" Jiang Yuan, upon hearing this, promptly picked up a menu from the table and cast a cursory glance. Good heavens! The extravagant wild conch, priced at 2,880 per piece. The Yangtze crab, weighing 8 taels, at 3,880 per serving. The sake chilled half abalone, at 12,800 each. The authentic Kobe steak at 38,888 per serving. The golden phoenix cupcake at an astonishing 88,888 each. And the supreme boiled blue lobster at a staggering 988,888 per piece. Upon reviewing the menu, Jiang Yuan couldn't help but exclaim that indeed, poverty had limited his imagination. He had only encountered conchs that cost a mere few dozen, never anticipating the existence of such colossal specimens, akin to an adult's arm, priced at over 2,000 each. Though the prices of the abalone and steak were exorbitant, he had heard whispers of their worth before. A small slab of Kobe steak could fetch several thousand, while a full portion might reach tens of thousands. These figures were within his expectations. However, the so-called golden phoenix cupcake, nearing 100,000, was utterly astonishing. Upon closer inspection, he discovered it was adorned with 23-carat edible gold leaf, lavish amounts of edible gold dust, and presented on a 24-carat gold tray, transforming the cake into a veritable confection of gold. Truly, this was a luxury item, purely a display of opulence. The blue lobster was even more remarkable, being the most prestigious lobster variety worldwide, with a price tag approaching $1 million, almost equivalent to the cost of a house. Had it been the Jiang Yuan of yore, merely gazing upon such a menu would have induced a panic attack. Yet, times had changed. Jiang Yuan confidently waved his hand, summoning a server. He settled himself boisterously and declared, "The menu is too lengthy. I shall have one of everything, please, especially a few hundred of those abalones." With so many of us here, it would surely be insufficient. And do bring several dozen of that Kobe steak. A morsel like that wouldn't even fill a gap between teeth. As for the golden cake, let us have dozens more. Everyone should indulge in a bit of gold for their health. Additionally, bring forth several dozens of the blue lobsters, ensuring a variety of flavors, particularly the spicy ones. Upon hearing these words, the server stood in stunned silence, scarcely able to believe his ears. What on earth? Am I hearing correctly? Such exorbitantly priced dishes, and you wish for multiple servings of each? The sake chilled half abalone costs over 10,000 each, and you request several hundred? The golden phoenix cupcakes. Dozens? Most alarmingly, the blue lobsters approach 1,000,000 each, and you wish for dozens of those as well. After years of service at the Ritz-Carlton, the server had never encountered a guest so audacious. Sir, you cannot be serious, he stammered, incredulity etched across his face. Chapter 12. A luxurious banquet of millions. Are you joking? Jiang Yuan pondered for a moment, realizing there was indeed an issue. The waiter sighed in relief. It appeared this guest was genuinely jesting. However, Jiang Yuan continued, this meager offering may not suffice. Let us procure some king crabs, caviar, shark fin, and matsutake mushrooms. Hurry, for if my treasured companions go hungry, I shall be quite displeased. The waiter stumbled, nearly losing his footing. Goodness, is this insufficient? This table of delicacies must surely exceed 10 million, right? My mathematical skills may be lacking, but I cannot be mistaken. This is not merely a big shot. This is a colossal figure. After years in this profession, I have never encountered such extravagance. The waiter inhaled deeply, straightened his posture, and offered a sycophantic smile. I shall inform the kitchen at once. Esteemed guest, please hold on. Ding. Shot points 20 ding. Shot points 20 ding. Shot points 20. The three renowned female chefs were somewhat flustered. Boss, are you dissatisfied with our cooking and have come here to vent your frustrations today? Jiang Yuan laughed heartily, gently lifting their chins with his fingertips. You think too much. Your culinary skills are exquisite. It's merely that the ingredients were a tad inexpensive. Today, let us indulge in some variety and enjoy our meal. His affectionate gesture instantly flushed the cheeks of the three chefs, leaving them bashfully abashed. Yao Wenwen gulped nervously. Boss, with so much food, will we be able to finish it? Jiang Yuan, with grand generosity, wrapped an arm around her slender waist and proclaimed, you must correct this petty mindset of yours. We are here to relish joy. If we cannot finish, we shall simply give the leftovers to the beggars. The goddesses were astounded by this perspective. Leftovers for beggars? If a beggar were to consume these delicacies, they might suffer for nutritional excess, perhaps even nosebleeds. This Jiang boss is rather extravagant. The goddess's worldview was thoroughly shaken. Meanwhile, the waiter's actions were swift, and the dishes arrived at an astonishing pace. Exquisite delicacies were presented. Giant conch, Yangtze crab, half a head of abalone, Kobe steak, golden phoenix cupcakes, blue lobster, king crab, caviar, shark fin, matsutake mushrooms. Jiang Yuan opened his arms wide and exclaimed, eat, eat, eat. We must abandon the bad habit of only consuming staple foods. Lobster and steak can fill us just as well. I have heard one blue lobster is worth an entire apartment. Let us each have one, and with a single bite, we acquire a home. This cake is crafted from gold, or at least adorned with edible gold dust. Today, we shall feast on gold until we are satiated. As plate after plate of exquisite mountain and sea treasures graced the table, even the three renowned chefs felt their appetites stirred. While their culinary skills were remarkable, they had never encountered such luxurious ingredients. Truly, Jiang Boss is impressive. To indulge in such opulence on our first team-building event, being with such a wealthy patron instills an unparalleled sense of security. Meanwhile, the women around, who had been surreptitiously admiring Jiang Yuan's striking looks, wore expressions of astonishment. Ding. Shot points 50 ding. Amidst the clamor, a staggering revelation dawned. Their initial intrigue was solely drawn by Jiang Yuan's handsome visage. After all, who could resist the allure of a beauty like him? Yet, to their astonishment, this ethereal figure also possessed considerable wealth. A perfect embellishment indeed. Behold, the extravagant feast before them. An abundance of blue lobsters and golden phoenix cakes, akin to a lavish state banquet. Who was this individual, whose table overflowed with opulence? It was as if the heavens had conferred both impeccable looks and boundless riches upon a single soul. They were enamored. Such a charming young man was simply delightful. Around him, women gazed with adoration, their eyes scanning Jiang Yuan as if attempting to comprehend his entirety. In an instant, he became the undeniable focal point of the gathering. Unbeknownst to them, the entire restaurant had slowed its rhythm, as every patron's attention had been captivated by Jiang Yuan. This development incensed the men present. They had expended considerable sums to treat their companions, hoping to impress. Yet the atmosphere had shifted dramatically. Nearly all the women were now entranced by Jiang Yuan. The men felt a surge of envy. They mused that his extravagant ordering of such costly dishes must be a mere fade, a publicity stunt. Who in their right mind would indulge in such ostentation? Surely he belonged to some influencer agency, there to capture attention for fleeting fame. It was likely that a wealthy benefactor was financing this charade, a blatant ploy for attention. How shameless of people to resort to such lowly tactics for notoriety. However, the women, upon hearing these speculations, found some merit in the argument. Nevertheless, it did not diminish their admiration for Jiang Yuan. Whether he was wealthy or not mattered little to them. His captivating charm rendered even mealtime enchanting. Even if he were merely executing a task assigned by a benefactor, it did not hinder their appreciation of his allure. The men, visibly agitated, ground their teeth in frustration. They had sought to flaunt their status with a lavish meal, only to witness their efforts overshadowed by another. What was most infuriating was the entourage of goddesses surrounding him. Not just one or two, but an entire table of them. Each one could easily eclipse the beauty of their own companions. Their looks and figures were nothing short of celestial. The men seethed, their gazes towards Jiang Yuan igniting with jealousy. Yet, Jiang Yuan chose to remain oblivious to the turmoil around him. Ingyist, surrounded by a lavish spread of gourmet delicacies and accompanied by a bevy of goddesses, his thoughts scarcely strayed to others. He savored his food and drink with delight. At that moment, a portly middle-aged man approached, none other than Manager Wang. With an air of affluence, he sauntered over. Many men dining at the table, upon spotting Manager Wang, immediately set down their cutlery and greeted him with enthusiasm. Manager Wang, long time no see. Hope all is well. Indeed, it has been a while. Wishing you a pleasant meal, he replied, exuding an undeniable presence. Manager Wang's reputation was significant, having worked at this restaurant for nearly 2 decades. The regular patrons were well acquainted with him. His generosity and hospitality were well known, and those who forged a close rapport with him could enjoy substantial discounts, often saving tens of thousands on a meal. Such an opportunity was indeed lucrative. Consequently, the men handled their interactions with Manager Wang with utmost care, their demeanor respectful. Manager Wang, fully aware of this dynamic, maintained a nonchalant attitude. However, upon reaching Jiang Yuan's table, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. His expression transformed with a swiftness reminiscent of a Sichuan opera face change, adopting a demeanor of humility, compliance, and eagerness to please. Nevertheless, he had no intention of revealing Jiang Yuan's identity as the owner of the establishment, for Jiang had just instructed him to remain discreet. The owner's words were akin to edicts, and fulfilling his wishes was a matter of personal duty. Mr. Jiang, I wish you a delightful dining experience. Here is our restaurant's highest standard congratulatory card and a bouquet. Manager Wang said respectfully, presenting a bouquet of blooming carnations accompanied by a card crafted from pure gold. The language of carnations symbolizes respect and is often used as a table flower. What was your name again? Jiang Yuan pondered, struggling to recall the man's name. Upon hearing this, Manager Wang promptly introduced himself. I am surnamed Wang. Ah, little Wang. I doubt you came over merely to deliver flowers. Speak your purpose, Jiang Yuan urged. Chapter 13. The Enchanting Beauty and the Folk Song Singer, Xiao Wang. Upon hearing Jiang Yuan's address, the men around him twitched their eyes in disbelief. What an absurd title to bestow upon Manager Wang. If someone else had uttered such a name, it would surely have been inappropriate. Yet when Jiang Yuan did so, Manager Wang displayed an expression of utmost enjoyment. How delightful it was for the esteemed Jiang to call him Xiao Wang, such an intimate designation. This truly felt like an unparalleled honor. Did this signify a closer rapport with Jiang Yuan? Quite splendid indeed. Sir, I was concerned that your dining experience might be somewhat monotonous, so I have invited the finest band from the South City to perform for your enjoyment. Manager Wang proclaimed with pride. This is the most renowned band in our region, and both of their vocalists have received numerous international accolades, ensuring your satisfaction. Seemingly apprehensive that Jiang Yuan might not be particularly fond of music, Manager Wang leaned in closer and whispered, Boss Jiang. One of the lead singers is an exquisite beauty with an ancient charm. With that, he winked knowingly at Jiang Yuan, conveying an expression understood among men. Jiang Yuan nodded gently. Very well, it would be a shame to come out just to dine. I shall indulge in the musical offerings of this upscale establishment. Upon receiving his acquiescence, Manager Wang's face lit up, and he promptly made a phone call. Please hold on. The band will arrive shortly, he said respectfully. In the meantime, may I present to you our restaurant's limited edition dessert, the Golden Sundae. With a clap of his hands, 3 attendants in red carefully brought forth a platter. As the cover was lifted, it revealed a sundae adorned with approximately 24-karat gold leaf. This golden sundae was crafted from the world's rarest Venezuelan handmade chocolate, sugar-coated almonds, and mango caviar. It is reserved exclusively for our most esteemed guests, with only 50 servings available each quarter. Jiang Yuan acknowledged with a hum. Although he was not particularly fond of sweets, especially chocolate, thus, he casually passed the golden sundae to Yao Wenwen, entrusting her with its distribution. Her heart warmed at the gesture. The boss had bestowed upon her the privilege of sharing such a precious delicacy, a true testament to his trust. She resolved to work even harder to repay Boss Zhang's faith in her. After a span of 5 or 6 minutes, a band gracefully entered the center of the dining hall. The members, all in their 20s, exuded an air of seasoned confidence, their eyes sparkling with vitality. Among them were 2 standout figures, a man and a woman. The man, with a carefree demeanor, unfortunately bore an appearance that could not be deemed pleasing to the eye, clearly a powerhouse relying on talent alone. In stark contrast, the woman was breathtakingly beautiful, adorned in an ancient style, embodying the essence of a captivating ancient beauty. As this enchanting figure graced the stage, it felt as though the entire room had been illuminated. Clad in a flowing pink gown, she stood poised, her ethereal aura reminiscent of a celestial being. The men surrounding her could not help but swallow hard at the sight. Jiang Yuan, too, cast a sidelong glance, captivated by the scene before him. System scanning. Name, Yiran. Age, 21. Beauty score, 9-7. Figure 9. 6. Identity, folk singer. Music theory level, 4. Monthly salary, 100,000. The beauty score of 9. 7 is indeed remarkable. She resembles a fairy from ancient tales, possessing a certain charm. Manager Wang's eyes glimmered with excitement. Here she comes, ready to perform for Boss Jiang. The surrounding patrons whispered among themselves. It turned out to be the Absinthe Band. Manager Wang had actually invited them. They were the winners of the last Grammy Music Awards, set to embark on a world tour next year. Who is this person that Manager Wang is so eager to please, even bringing in such a prestigious band for a performance? Perhaps he is a newcomer from a trendy internet celebrity company, likely to shoot a promotional video soon. Hence the invitation to the Absinthe Band. Everyone was scrutinizing the band. Many members of the Absinthe Band were equally examining Jiang Yuan. There were 2 reasons for this. Firstly, the beauty emperor Jiang Yuan was undeniably striking, impossible to overlook even in a crowd. Secondly, they were deeply curious about his identity. Just an hour prior, the Absinthe Band received an urgent invitation from the Ritz-Carlton restaurant. It was an urgent request that could not be delayed. The restaurant's senior management had mobilized every possible network to secure the band's presence. It was said to be for a distinguished guest performance. Among the Absinthe Band, 2 newly joined young women whispered teasingly, "This guy is incredibly handsome. Could he be the distinguished guest? He is surrounded by so many beauties. He must be exceedingly wealthy. I wonder how much this big shot will pay us." Not only these 2 young women, even the ancient-style beauty Yi Ran cast several glances at Jiang Yuan. It was inevitable. The most striking figure on this street naturally drew attention and admiration from others. Of course, there were exceptions among those with darker dispositions. For instance, one of the band's singers, Du Fei, harbored jealousy towards the dashing Jiang Yuan. As an accomplished but unattractive individual, he resented Jiang Yuan's striking looks. Day after day, he practiced music theory with the sole aim of attracting the attention of the enchanting Yi Ran. However, despite rising to the position of lead singer, Yi Ran remained indifferent to him. As a seasoned admirer, Du Fei was infuriated. Jiang Yuan, without any effort, merely relied on his looks to garner Yi Ran's interest. It seemed profoundly unfair. Du Fei's heart was as dark as a stormy night, yet he feigned a demeanor of nonchalance. Manager Wang bowed respectfully. "You may choose a song. We guarantee your satisfaction." Jiang Yuan casually replied, "Just a popular song will suffice." A simple request for a popular tune. Yet the lead singer Du Fei vehemently refused. "I apologize, but we are musicians with our own pride. We exclusively perform folk songs and have no interest in pop music." Du Fei's face radiated the pride of an artistic youth. Manager Wang, feeling anxious, quickly responded, "We will offer a substantial fee." Du Fei, with an even greater disdain, regarded him with a gaze that deemed money as mere refuse. Nowadays, People place too much emphasis on wealth, becoming excessively superficial. We are pure musicians, and our souls shall never be corrupted by monetary gain. We sing only folk songs. Any other discussion is futile, regardless of the amount offered. Du Fei's declaration was resolute, imbued with the dignity and spirit of a true artist. For Du Fei, the cunning admirer, understood that Yi Ran was drawn to such artistic temperaments, those whose principles remain unshaken by riches or poverty. Indeed, after Du Fei's proclamation, Yi Ran slightly nodded in agreement. In that moment, the sycophantic Du Fei felt a surge of joy within. Meanwhile, manager Wang found himself in a difficult position, confronted by the obstinacy of this artistic youth. The thought of offending boss Jiang made him nearly weep. Jiang Yuan, however, observed Du Fei with keen interest, gradually revealing a smile laden with meaning. So, young man, I hear that money cannot corrupt your soul? Chapter 14. The thrill of money in hand. Du Fei straightened his back and declared, of course. Sir, please do not presume that wealth can procure everything. Such a belief is fundamentally flawed. As he spoke, his enthusiasm surged. Immersing himself in the role of a tenacious artistic youth, a character he knew his aloof goddess, Yi Ran, would admire. Consequently, he performed with extraordinary fervor. Indeed, Yi Ran glanced at Du Fei with a hint of surprise, nodding in appreciation, which filled Du Fei with uncontainable joy. The mere glance from his goddess seemed to ensnare his very soul, causing his heart to race fervently. He marveled at his own cleverness, thrilled to have garnered her favor. The lead singer of the Bitter Wormwood Band, Du Fei, was rumored to be not only a singer, but also a speaker and educator. He frequently delivered speeches, propagating positive energy, and was known for his charitable endeavors. He appeared to be a fine young man with commendable values, albeit somewhat unappealing in appearance. A smile gradually curled at the corners of Du Fei's lips. He had meticulously crafted his image, awaiting this very moment. Jiang Yuan chuckled, clapping his hands in approval. Oh, young man, I commend your performance. He then raised a glass of Lafite and cheerfully offered, care for a drink? Du Fei promptly declined, et m'afraid de mustabstain. Alcohol can lead to reckless behavior. Jiang Yuan feigned surprise. I hear you enjoy philanthropy? Du Fei shrugged. It's merely a personal preference. I cannot bear to see the impoverished suffer. Jiang Yuan nodded. Well said. In that case, I shall indulge in some charity as well. He turned to Yao Wenwen and proposed, let us sponsor the Bitter Wormwood Band with a modest sum. Say, 100 million? They can serve as our private band and serenade us at leisure. 100 million. That astronomical figure struck Du Fei like a thunderbolt. And much? How much? His voice trembled. 100 million. What's the matter? Is that too little? Jiang Yuan shrugged helplessly. No. Du Fei hastily shook his head, resembling a bobblehead. Jiang Yuan pretended not to understand, feigning confusion. What do you mean by no? You don't want it? Du Fei immediately responded. You are truly remarkable. As the lead singer, should such a sum truly be bestowed upon him, it would effectively translate into his own coffers, allowing him to dictate its usage. In that instant, his mind was awash with golden stars, overwhelmed by a euphoric sensation. Yi Ran, the ethereal beauty, furrowed her brow deeply. After a prolonged silence, she finally spoke. I'm sorry, but we cannot accept this money. Before Jiang Yuan could utter a word, Du Fei hastily interjected with a question. Why refuse? This is a heartfelt gesture from Boss Jiang. It would be exceedingly impolite to decline. Yi Ran furrowed her brows even deeper. We sing not for monetary gain. Du Fei promptly responded. We perform to elucidate the truths of life to those ensnared by confusion and suffering, and Mr. Jiang appears to be in great distress. Jiang Yuan immediately chimed in. Indeed, I am profoundly tormented. A soft chuckle escaped from some of the goddesses at Jiang Yuan's table, unable to contain their amusement. Yi Ran's eyes gradually revealed a look of ire. This Du Fei was truly spineless. A mere sum of money had unveiled his true nature. He often preached about positive energy, but it was all a facade. What a hypocrite. Meanwhile, Du Fei's mind was consumed by the figure of 100 million. He swiftly dismissed the notion of goddess Yi Ran. 100 million? How enticing. With such wealth, what kind of goddess could he not attract? He would no longer play the sycophant. In an instant, Du Fei felt liberated, his spirit lightened. He took a bold step towards Jiang Yuan and downed a glass of Lafite in one gulp. Didn't you say you don't drink? Du Fei countered. As the saying goes, 1,000 cups are insufficient for a true friend. Encountering a magnanimous soul like Boss Jiang is indeed a stroke of fortune. To not share a drink would be a grave regret. Jiang Yuan laughed heartily. Well said. Why not indulge in a few more? Hearing this, Du Fei eagerly seized a bottle of Lafite and, tilting his head back, began to drink deeply. In no time, he had emptied the bottle. Jiang Yuan, impressed, remarked, "What a capacity for drink. Why don't you grace us with a song while you're in high spirits?" With a sizable bottle of Lafite in his belly, Du Fei became pleasantly inebriated, his face flushed. He picked up a guitar and began to sing loudly. "Come on, rejoice. After all, there is plenty of time. Come on, love. After all, there is plenty of folly. Come on, wander. After all, there is plenty of direction. Come on, perform. After all, there is plenty of splendor." The other members of the Bitter Wormwood Band were utterly taken aback, their eyes nearly popping from their sockets. Was this truly the sober, self-disciplined Du Fei they had known? The orator, the educator, the philanthropist. Now he resembled a mere jester, disregarding his image as he strummed his guitar and sang such frivolous tunes. The band felt an overwhelming sense of embarrassment. Yi Ran could no longer endure the spectacle and declared sharply, "I hereby announce that I, Yi Ran, am withdrawing from this band. I will have no further association with this foolish lead singer." At that moment, the other members of the Bitter Wormwood Band echoed her sentiments. "Sister Iran is our backbone. If she leaves, I shall too. Me too, I'm done. I also want withdraw." In an instant, this once elegant band crumbled into disarray. The instigator, Du Fei, was completely intoxicated, lost in his revelry and singing away. Jiang Yuan lamented, "Alas, what a pity. It appears that this band is destined for dissolution, and that 100 million is unlikely to be dispersed." Du Fei, still under the influence of alcohol, perked up at the mention of such a sum. His eyes widened in disbelief. "What? You want to pay?" Jiang Yuan replied with resignation, "I offered the money to acquire your band, but now that it is disbanding, why would I spend anything?" In an instant, Du Fei was filled with rage, bellowing at his fellow bandmates. "Are you plotting a rebellion? You all signed contracts upon joining. Do you think I want to make you pay the penalty for breach?" Yi Ran, with a cold smirk, swiftly delivered a resounding slap. The force of the blow left Du Fei dazed and bewildered. "As for any penalty fees, I shall bear the entirety. I no longer wish to lay eyes on you. You despicable wretch, be gone." Chapter 15. Trending on social media, Yi Ran was not lacking in wealth. In fact, she was considerably more affluent than the vast majority of people. The Yi family was a distinguished lineage of antique connoisseurs in Nanjing. However, in her generation, Yi Ran opted to pursue her musical aspirations rather than inherit the family legacy. She chose instead to join the Artemisia Band, taking on the role of lead vocalist. Yet, she concealed her illustrious background from her bandmates, embodying an independent and proud spirit, eschewing any reliance on her family status. She was a self-respecting and self-sufficient heiress. Yet, at this moment, she felt compelled to reveal her true identity. Spurred by the despicable Du Fei, who brazenly threatened her crucial teammate with the specter of a breach of contract penalty. With a delicate hand, Yi Ran pointed accusingly at Du Fei, declaring, "If you seek a penalty, go to the Yi family on Antique Street." The very mention of the Yi family caused Du Fei's countenance to shift dramatically, beads of cold sweat emerging on his forehead. Given any amount of courage, he would never dare to approach the Yi household for money. That would be courting disaster. Upon hearing the name Yi family, gasps of astonishment rippled through the crowd. A chorus of disbelief, rising and falling. Even Yao Wenwen, who stood beside Jiang Yuan, could not suppress her sudden pallor. Jiang Yuan, perplexed, inquired, "The Yi family on Antique Street?" Yao Wenwen inhaled deeply, striving to regain her composure. She leaned closer to Jiang Yuan and whispered, "The Yi family is one of the most renowned affluent families in Nanjing, specializing in the antique trade. Antique Street is replete with countless artifacts and paintings for sale, including many genuine masterpieces alongside numerous forgeries. It is said that the Yi family possesses an exceptional eye for discerning antiques, employing a unique set of techniques for authentication, which has led them to amass a fortune reportedly exceeding 10 billion over the years." At the mention of 10 billion, Yao Wenwen trembled involuntarily. Recent global surveys indicate that there are approximately 18 million millionaires worldwide, yet the number of billionaires is a mere 700. The head of the Yi family undoubtedly ranks among this elite group. As an heir to the Yi legacy, Yi Ran was effectively a future billionaire, a true embodiment of wealth. In comparison, the Su sisters paled significantly by contrast, rendered trivial. Jiang Yuan found himself glancing at Yi Ran with renewed interest. This enchanting young woman, steeped in traditional elegance, possessed a noteworthy lineage. It seemed that her wealth could not easily be swayed. Such effortless acquisition of riches ultimately held little allure, he mused. Previously, among the benefactors in Dongshan Villa District who had bestowed gifts upon him, one bore the surname Yi. He pondered whether there was a connection to the Yi family of Antique Street. Perhaps he and Yi Ran were neighbors, residing in the same vicinity, crossing paths without awareness. As Jiang Yuan contemplated this, Du Fei, nursing his reddened cheek from Yi Ran's slap, gazed at her in utter astonishment. You are actually a member of the Yi family? He thought, his mind a tumult of regret and confusion. He had been playing the role of the devoted admirer so well, but in a moment of folly, he had let slip the opportunity to connect with a true heiress. Du Fei felt a profound sense of despair. Initially, he was merely captivated by Yi Ran's beauty, but he never anticipated that she was, in fact, an affluent heiress. If he were to wholeheartedly embrace the role of a devoted admirer, perhaps he might still have a faint glimmer of hope. After all, she might just fancy someone like him. However, at this moment, it was all too late. Du Fei was on the verge of tears. The Bitter Wormwood Band was facing disbandment, and he had antagonized the young lady from the Yi family. How could he possibly navigate the social circles of Nance City from now on? Yi Ran, however, could no longer be bothered to cast a glance in Du Fei's direction. Instead, she turned to her fellow band members and assured them, "Do not worry. I will address the issue of the breach of contract. If any of you wish to form another band, you can always come to the Yi family to seek my assistance." The other members of the Bitter Wormwood Band were momentarily rendered speechless, touched by the revelation that their caring leader was, in fact, the esteemed daughter of the antique connoisseur Yi family. Yet, hesitation flickered across their faces. "Leader, we dare not approach you," they replied. "The Yi family surely wishes for you to inherit the family business. As musicians, we would undoubtedly incur their resentment." Upon hearing this, Yi Ran felt a twinge of helplessness. Indeed, her family opposed her pursuit of a musical career. Had it not been for today's events, she might have continued as the band's lead singer for several more years, carving out a name for herself. However, it was precisely because of today's incident that she had come to recognize Du Fei's true nature. Being associated with such a person in a band was utterly humiliating. She felt a sense of gratitude towards Jiang Yuan, the handsome young man who had unveiled Du Fei's true colors. With a hint of reluctance in her eyes, Yi Ran said, "Until we meet again, farewell." Jiang Yuan smiled politely in response, "Goodbye." Yi Ran departed from the Fiskalton restaurant with poise. Once she left, the other patrons of the restaurant were left in sheer astonishment, their faces reflecting the gravity of the day's events. The impact was overwhelming, particularly Jiang Yuan's extravagant gesture of spending 100 million, which had directly led to the disbandment of a renowned band. This display of opulence prompted many to whip out their phones to share the news on Weibo, Moments, and short videos. Ding. Shot points 100 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 ding. Shot points 100. The news of the Bitter Wormwood Band's disbandment quickly spread like wildfire across social media. It trended on Weibo with hashtags such as Bitter Wormwood Disbandment, Mystery Rich Man Splurges in Nance City, Yi Ran's identity revealed. The entire internet buzzed with excitement. The Bitter Wormwood Band had disbanded, and it had been shattered by a mysterious billionaire's lavish expenditure. Even more astonishing was Yi Ran's revelation of her true identity as the daughter of the Yi family. Such a dramatic turn of events instantly became the focal point of discussion for countless individuals. The Bitter Wormwood Band had disbanded, an end to an era of youth. Yi Ran was, astonishingly, the daughter of the Yi family. A renewed hope ignited within many. I must strive to succeed and become a son-in-law of the Yi family, whose urine is yellow. Hurry and wake up the person upstairs. Can Yi Ran truly hold him in regard? At the very least, he should be of my caliber. Who is this enigmatic tycoon who brazenly dismantled the Bitter Wormwood Band with his wealth? Such audacity is astonishing. This mysterious magnate casually produces 100 million. Could he possibly be akin to the nation's beloved husband, someone of Jack Ma stature? In this information age, the dissemination of news across the internet occurs with astonishing rapidity. In no time, everyone is speculating about which wealthy individual orchestrated this affair. Meanwhile, the culprit, Jiang Yuan, continues to indulge himself as if nothing has happened, feasting on lobster and steak paired with a bottle of 82 La Fight to his heart's content. After a sumptuous meal, Jiang Yuan gleefully gazes at his system interface. Shock value. 4527 goodness. He has accumulated such a substantial amount of points over the past few days, enough for a grand total of 410 pulls. Might as well draw them all at once. Chapter 16. The third golden reward. Treasure map. Jiang Yuan was, in truth, rather indolent. If he could make 10 consecutive draws, He would simply forego the single draws altogether. Why exhaust his fingers with one click at a time? Unless he was in an exceptionally good mood, he would indulge in a solitary draw for amusement. Moreover, he possessed a habit akin to that of a hamster, preferring to accumulate his resources for the lottery before expending them all at once. At that moment, not only was he satiated and in high spirits, but he had also amassed a considerable number of points. Thus, he promptly accessed the system interface, preparing to execute 4 sets of 10 consecutive draws. However, before embarking on this endeavor, a touch of ritual was necessary. Jiang Yuan cast a glance at the despondent Du Fei, who was wallowing in sorrow, his face a portrait of disappointment. Du, can you sing Good Fortune? Let's hear a rendition, Jiang Yuan commanded. Du Fei, initially lost in his grief over the disbandment of the band and the missed opportunity with the affluent Yi Ran, perked up at the sound of Jiang Yuan's voice. With a sudden leap, he sprang to his feet. Though our band may have dissolved and I may have offended Miss Yi, we still have powerful allies. Boss Jiang can casually produce a fortune of 100 million, a truly formidable figure whose influence could make the entire Ritz-Carlton tremble. What do we have to fear when we are associated with such a person? The future promises abundant wealth and indulgence. Opportunities abound. Du Fei gazed at Jiang Yuan with unbridled anticipation, akin to a devotee beholding a deity, nearly drooling with excitement. Jiang Yuan felt a shiver run down his spine from the intensity of his gaze, wondering if this insufferable lad harbored any unsavory inclinations. Embracing his sycophantic nature, Du Fei exclaimed, "Of course I can sing. Not only Good Fortune, but any tune you desire, as long as Boss Jiang, with his striking presence and handsome demeanor, wishes to hear it, I shall oblige. Sing Good Fortune quickly, and spare me your flattery," Jiang Yuan urged, eager to proceed with his draws, having little patience for Du Fei's clumsy attempts at praise. Upon hearing this, Du Fei dared not hesitate. He swiftly picked up the guitar from the floor and strummed the melody of Good Fortune. Good fortune, may good fortune come your way. Fortune brings happiness and love. Good fortune, we welcome good fortune. Embracing good fortune, we thrive across the seas. As he played, Du Fei swayed to the rhythm, infusing the restaurant with an atmosphere of auspiciousness and joy. Jiang Yuan nodded in approval, remarking, "Truly a talented individual. One must study diligently if one is not blessed with beauty, as the ancients have rightly advised." With a melody of good fortune resonating in the air, Jiang Yuan closed his eyes and entered the system interface. He exchanged all his accumulated points for blind boxes, totaling 45 draws. With a flourish of his hand, he immediately initiated a set of 10 consecutive draws, 3 blue and 7 white, totaling 37 million. A 10 consecutive draw yielded no results, which is rather typical. With a flash of golden light, it is inherently difficult to achieve. Jiang Yuan, unable to contain his eagerness, proceeded with another 10 consecutive draws, 4 blue and 6 white, summing to 46 million. Yet again there were no results. Jiang Yuan's hand trembled. Was he possessed by Snow White and the Fairy of Purple Clouds? Something felt amiss today. It had never been this frustrating before. Sensing something was not quite right, Jiang Yuan paused the card draw and opened his eyes. Du Fei was still howling incessantly. "Stop for a moment," Jiang Yuan said. "What is wrong?" Du Fei replied, looking bewildered. Jiang Yuan took the guitar from his hands and placed it in the grasp of Yao Wenwen. "Xiaowen, you sing Good Luck Comes," Jiang Yuan commanded. "Me?" Yao Wenwen questioned, her confidence wavering. Although she had dabbled in guitar and could sing, she was not proficient enough to perform in front of an audience. "It's fine, just sing," Jiang Yuan encouraged with a nod. Upon hearing Jiang Yuan's command, Yao Wenwen felt compelled to comply, steeling herself to begin singing. "Good luck comes, wishing you good fortune. Good luck brings joy and love. Good luck comes, we welcome good fortune. Embracing good luck, may prosperity reach all corners of the world." Yao Wenwen's voice was sweet, a gift from the heavens. Though her technique needed refinement, it was already quite melodious. Seizing the opportunity, Jiang Yuan closed his eyes once more and re-entered the system for another 10 consecutive draws. This time, a golden flash finally appeared, and it was even a double jackpot. Accompanied by a dazzling array of radiant colors, 2 golden rewards slowly materialized before Jiang Yuan's eyes. Critical reward, a treasure map, 3 uses. Note, upon use, it will guide the host on a treasure hunting route, and this map also possesses an identification function capable of discerning the origin and purpose of all treasures. Critical reward, a bottle of body enhancement liquid. Note, upon consumption, the host's physical attributes will be significantly boosted. enabling even the weakest individual to attain the strength of a national-level athlete. Finally, a successful draw. Jiang Yuan let out a sigh of relief. Had all those consecutive draws ended in failure, he would surely have been afflicted with high blood pressure and heart disease. However, through this card draw, Jiang Yuan finally grasped an important realization. The unfortunate soul sings good fortune arrives, only to find himself ensnared in misfortune as well. Conversely, the fortunate one sings the same tune and instantly becomes the bearer of a double yolk egg. The disparity is indeed staggering. Jiang Yuan, struck by the delightful surprise of a double yolk egg, ceases his lottery endeavors, for he has matters of greater significance to attend to. Upon opening his eyes, he swiftly delivers a kick to Du Fei's posterior. What a waste of my 10 consecutive draws. Singing good fortune arrives. Du Fei, feeling wronged, thinks to himself, did you not instruct me to sing? Why am I being kicked after the performance? Jiang Yuan is infuriated, recalling that he had previously secured 2 golden rewards from merely a dozen attempts. Yet today, due to Du Fei's ill fortune, it was not until the third set of 10 draws that he finally obtained a double yolk egg, and that was thanks to the song sung by Yao Wenwen. With a look of disdain, Jiang Yuan remarks, Little Du, I believe we are not well suited. It would be best if you cease to accompany me henceforth. Upon hearing this, Du Fei is so startled that he nearly collapses to the ground. He realizes that he has not only lost the lady, but also his troops, ending up with nothing for himself. With a sorrowful expression, he wails, as if a profoundly melancholic soundtrack were echoing behind him. Snowflakes flutter, the north wind howls. Chapter 17. Strolling through Antique Street at the Ritz-Carlton restaurant. A meal, accompanied by an abundance of fine wine, left the goddesses under Jiang Yuan's command, displaying expressions of utmost satisfaction. This time, they were truly enlightened, witnessing the extravagance of a high-end restaurant in all its opulence. However, upon receiving the bill, a pang of regret washed over them as they gazed at the exorbitant amount. Though the expense was not theirs to bear, merely observing the lavish spread made them wince. In contrast, Jiang Yuan appeared unfazed, continuing to savor his Lafite red wine. Let us settle the bill. It's time to leave, Jiang Yuan instructed. Manager Wang, upon hearing this, promptly whispered, no need for concern. We will deduct it from your quarterly shareholder dividends. Intrigued, Jiang Yuan inquired, what is the approximate amount for each quarter? Manager Wang chuckled, making a gesture indicating 8, at least this figure. 80 million? 800 million. Jiang Yuan responded with a calm demeanor. Just a few billion. With a few more 10 consecutive draws, it would be nothing. The crucial aspect, in fact, was the golden critical reward. Jiang Yuan pondered the 2 golden rewards he had just acquired. The body enhancement liquid was self-explanatory, a remarkable item that, when used, would enhance one's physical attributes. Health is invaluable, something money cannot buy, unless the sum is exorbitantly high. The treasure map, however, was particularly intriguing. Its appraisal function alone could prove immensely useful. The treasure-seeking function hints at buried antiques, paintings, jade, and national treasures. Each of these items could fetch astronomical sums at auction. Jiang Yuan had a premonition that the reward from the treasure map was likely the most impressive golden reward he had received thus far. Its total value could well exceed his wildest dreams. Meanwhile, Yao Wenwen quietly inquired, Boss, what are the plans after our meal? Contemplating the next steps, Jiang Yuan recalled the enchanting young lady from earlier, Yi Ran, who had mentioned her connection to the Yi family of Antique Street. Why not take a stroll through Antique Street? He suggested. Girls do love shopping, after all. Looking at his entourage of goddesses, he proclaimed, let us go shopping. We shall explore from Antique Street to the commercial center, buy whatever you fancy. Today it's on me. Upon hearing this, the goddesses erupted in exclamations of delight. The boss is taking us shopping and letting us buy whatever we want? He even covered the exorbitant bill. Today is bound to be extravagant. The boss is amazing. Ding. Shop points 50 ding. Shop points 50 ding. Shop points 50 ding. Shop points 50 ding. Shop points 50. In the blissful atmosphere created by his subordinates, Jiang Yuan departed from the Ritz-Carlton restaurant. They drove to the Antique Street, located within the third ring of the Southern City District. Upon their arrival, Jiang Yuan was greeted by a bustling crowd, alive with the sounds of chatter and excitement. The street was lined with an array of stalls and shops, each one brimming with a myriad of trinkets and curiosities. From folding fans and jade pieces to larger antique vases and exquisite pearls, everything imaginable was on display. However, distinguishing between genuine artifacts and mere replicas proved challenging. Even those with years of experience in the trade could sometimes be misled. This was a veritable goldmine. where discerning eyes could uncover treasures worth billions, while others might unknowingly possess rare gems, shrouded in obscurity. Jiang Yuan looked forward to exploring the antique street, eager to seek his fortune. The street pulsed with life, vehicles and pedestrians weaving through the vibrant scene. At the roadside, a disheveled man wept uncontrollably, seemingly oblivious to the world around him. Jiang Yuan found the man's face somewhat familiar and tentatively inquired, "Chen Xiaoyu?" The man turned, and upon recognizing Jiang Yuan, exclaimed his name with surprise. Jiang Yuan. Jiang Yuan nodded. This was indeed his high school classmate, Chen Xiaoyu. After years apart, their paths had crossed unexpectedly on this street. "I can't believe it's you," Jiang Yuan exclaimed, patting him on the shoulder. In school, they had shared a decent rapport. And despite the passage of time and the transition into adulthood, the nostalgia for their innocent school days lingered. However, seeing Chen Xiaoyu in such a state of despair suggested trouble had befallen him. "Are you all right?" Jiang Yuan asked with concern. Chen Xiaoyu, his voice nearly spent from crying, replied, "I'm fine, just went through a breakup. It hurts so much. I swear, I will never love another woman again." Yet as he spoke, his peripheral vision caught sight of the enchanting women behind Jiang Yuan. The trio of stunning culinary goddesses, the beautiful maid Sun Yahan, the statuesque Xiao Ya, and the radiant housekeeper Yao Wenwen, left Chen Xiaoyu utterly astounded. Ding! Shot points 100. He pulled Jiang Yuan closer, whispering, "Who are they?" Jiang Yuan maintained his composure. "They're all my friends. Your friends." Chen Xiaoyu's eyes sparkled with intrigue. "How did you come to know so many goddess-like friends? Introduce me to one." Jiang Yuan felt speechless. Just moments ago, this man had proclaimed he would never love again, yet now he was eager to meet beautiful women. What a hypocrite! Jiang Yuan silently judged him. Little did Chen Xiaoyu know that the extraordinary women he admired were merely Jiang Yuan's ordinary subordinates. "Now, tell me what happened between you and your girlfriend." Chen Xiaoyu's expression darkened. "I have been struggling in business on this antique street, accruing significant debts. Today, my creditors came to confront me. Seeing me in such a pitiful state, my girlfriend decided to break up with me." His face was a portrait of sorrow, a reflection of his failed business and lost love. Jiang Yuan nodded. Such occurrences were far from uncommon. Adversity reveals true sentiment, and most individuals belong to the category of those who can share in prosperity but cannot withstand hardship together. In reality, such situations are indeed rather prevalent. Chen Xiaoyu remarked, "After all these years, why not come to my shop and sit for a while? Since you are here, I would like to host you well." Jiang Yuan nodded in agreement. However, upon glancing back at the companions he had brought, he realized there were rather too many. Thus, he instructed them to explore the streets for a while, leaving only Yao Wenwen to accompany him. The trio then returned to a rather unremarkable antique shop. Yet, the establishment appeared to be on the verge of closure, devoid of any patrons. Occasionally, a few passers-by would glance at Chen Xiaoyu's antique shop, their expressions laden with mockery and derision. Nevertheless, a flicker of intrigue stirred within Jiang Yuan, for he sensed an unusual shift in his treasure map. There might be something extraordinary concealed within this shop. Chapter 18. 10 million. I purchased Chen Xiaoyu's antique shop was somewhat dilapidated and unrefined. In fact, Jiang Yuan felt it was the most run-down establishment on the street. The interior was not only cramped, but the ancient walls were yellowed and cracked, seemingly too frugal to warrant a fresh coat of paint. Moreover, the items displayed on the shelves appeared decidedly inferior. Even an untrained eye could discern their counterfeit nature. Yao Wenwen couldn't help but furrow her brow, whispering, "Boss, your classmate's shop is rather shabby." Jiang Yuan smiled enigmatically and replied, "Though this shop may seem worn, it might still harbor treasures within." Yao Wenwen cast a curious glance at Jiang Yuan, wondering if her boss was merely engaging in theatricality. How could such a decrepit shop possibly possess anything of value? Jiang Yuan and Yao Wenwen casually chose a wooden table to sit at, and soon, Chen Xiaoyu approached with 2 steaming cups of tea. Jiang Yuan nodded and accepted one, taking a small sip only to find it exceedingly bitter and unpalatable. He frowned, realizing his old classmate was not faring well. The quality of the tea was abysmal. Yao Wenwen, more direct, immediately spat the tea out. "How dreadful!" Chen Xiaoyu's face flushed with embarrassment as he explained, "I couldn't bear to change the tea leaves, so I brewed it multiple times." Multiple times? More like dozens. Jiang Yuan thought, feeling a sense of understanding as to why Chen Xiaoyu's girlfriend had left him. This was indeed a sign of extreme stinginess. At that moment, a car came to a halt outside the shop, a brand new Porsche 911, worth around 3 million. From the vehicle emerged two men, one elderly and one young. Upon seeing them, Chun Xiaoyu was struck with dread, his body trembling. Do you know them? Jiang Yuan inquired. Chun Xiaoyu nodded vigorously and added, they are my creditors. The older man was named Yi Ming Lu, commonly referred to as Old Yi, a member of the Yi family from Antique Street. Jiang Yuan raised an eyebrow, surprised by the serendipity of encountering the Yi family so soon. You've owed us money for quite some time. When do you intend to repay? The younger man, Huang Run, taunted with a smirk. Chun Xiaoyu's face turned crimson as he struggled to find a response. His antique business had faltered over the years, leaving him devoid of cash. The only asset he could offer as collateral was this very shop. Could you grant me a few more days? Chun Xiaoyu pleaded, bracing himself. Huang Ren's expression darkened, and he retorted coldly, you've owed us for so long. If you don't repay soon, I'll have no choice but to take items from your shop as collateral. Take items as collateral? Chun Xiaoyu, upon hearing this, felt a wave of relief wash over him. ISNT, everything in this shabby shop merely junk I collected? Feel free to take whatever you like. He forced a smile. Jiang Yuan observed the exchange with a discerning eye, sensing something amiss, yet he refrained from interjecting. Huang Ren scoffed and pulled out his phone. Today, consider yourself fortunate. Old Yi wishes to procure some items. The Yi family's antique business flourishes annually, with Old Yi alone contributing tax revenues exceeding several hundred million to the state. Jiang Yuan subtly shook his head, recalling that in the property transaction for his villa in the Dongshan district, nearly 1 billion in taxes had been deducted. The tax revenue from the Fisco Carlton restaurant also amounted to several hundred million. Paying taxes is merely a routine matter, not something to boast about. Huang Daying, while holding his phone, busily moved items from Chun Xiaoyu's antique shop. Each piece he presented required Old Yi's approval. Old Yi, what do you think of this painting? I've heard it's by an abstract master. Although it resembles something my 6th grade sister could have painted, it might still be a treasure. Old Yi, take a look at this calligraphy book. It features the authentic work of Tang Yin. Yet Old Yi remained impassive, akin to a stone statue, showing no interest in the items Huang Ren brought forth. It was evident that he deemed them mere trinkets, meant to deceive Na'vi outsiders. However, his demeanor shifted when his gaze fell upon an inconspicuous corner at the bottom of a shelf, prompting a slight gasp. Before he could voice his thoughts, Jiang Yuan interjected, I'll take this. Yao Wenwan was startled by her boss's sudden exclamation. Following the direction of his pointed finger, she was left bemused. Boss, ISNT this just a tattered book? My relatives back home have several copies. Jiang Yuan offered no reply, seizing the slightly worn scripture into his hands. His treasure map had reacted to the book. As he grasped it, the usage count on the treasure map decreased by 1. Treasure map, remaining uses 2. Old Yi furrowed his brow, contemplating the scripture Jiang Yuan held. The material bore resemblance to the 2 rare books he possessed. Rarely generous with words, Old Yi slowly stated, 3 million. I'll take this book. 3 million. Chun Xiaoyu's eyes lit up at the mention of such a sum. He turned to Jiang Yuan. Why not part with it, Jiang Yuan? Huang Ren sensed something amiss and cautioned. Old Yi, don't rush. This person looks unfamiliar. Could he be a plant sent by Chun Xiaoyu? Old Yi hesitated. Despite his extensive experience in appraising treasures, he had yet to examine the book closely. Nonetheless, he insisted. 3 million. I want it. He desired assurance in his acquisition. Unexpectedly, Jiang Yuan firmly declared, 10 million. I laid claim to it first. Huang Ren fanned the flames. Then show us the money first. Otherwise, we'll assume you're a ruse. With a smile, Jiang Yuan produced his phone, revealing his tax records. The astonishment on the faces of everyone in the shop was palpable as they beheld his payment history. On 10,000, 10,000. Huang Ren counted each digit one by one. You paid over 1 billion in taxes? Huang Ren was taken aback. He was so startled that he nearly jumped up. Ding. Shop points 100 ding. Shop points 100 ding. Shop points 100 ding. Shop points 100 ding. Shop points 100. Typically, the amount of tax paid constitutes approximately 10% of one's asset income and expenditures. This implies that Jiang Yuan's assets were beyond his wildest imagination. Although Old Yi was also quite astonished, he continued to ponder deeply the origins of the book in Jiang Yuan's possession. Suddenly, a thought surged within him. Could this book be one that shares a prestigious reputation alongside the Great Nirvana Sutra and the Great Treasure Store Sutra? Chapter 19, valued at 2,700 million, however. Just as Mr. Ye's thoughts began to rise, they were swiftly extinguished. That scripture was a genuine relic from 1,000 years ago, attributed to a revered monk. It was said to have been lost overseas after a certain upheaval. So how could it possibly resurface in this inconspicuous little shop? Yet Mr. Yi still felt a sense of unease. He observed Jiang Yuan's unwavering confidence, as if he had already secured possession of the book, which inevitably made him hesitate. Huang Ren whispered, Mr. Yi, this young man may have quite the background. Perhaps there is some truth to this matter. Could it be that this item genuinely holds significance? Mr. Yi pondered for a moment before responding. The authentication of any antique requires meticulous and intricate procedures. Even the most skilled appraisers need certain tools to achieve a reasonable success rate. Huang Ren was no fool. He readily grasped Mr. Ye's implication. So, you mean to say that this young man might merely be gambling on luck, and this item may not be authentic? Mr. Yi nodded. Nevertheless, he remained somewhat astonished. This young man, surnamed Jiang, was willing to wager $1 million on pure chance, a truly extravagant display of wealth. Yao Wenwen discreetly tugged at Jiang Yuan's sleeve and murmured, Boss, even if we have money, we shouldn't be so reckless. $1 million for this worn-out book? Jiang Yuan patted her fair shoulder and assured her, Fear not. I have my own plans. His confidence was not unfounded. The treasure map had already clearly marked the detailed information of this item. Item name, Imperial Edition of the Great Prajnaparamita Sutra. Note, the revered monk Huijin wrote in gold, with 10 surviving volumes. The sheep-brain paper is adorned with mud gold. The characters are clear and elegant like floating clouds, and the condition is exceptionally good. Item valuation, 7 billion. Meanwhile, his old classmate, Chen Xiaoyu, was already so astonished that he could hardly close his mouth. Jiang Yuan, when did you come into such wealth? Chen Xiaoyu stammered. Did you buy this worn book just to help an old classmate? Yao Wenwen found some logic in this. Perhaps their boss was indeed purchasing the book as an excuse to assist an old friend in repaying debts. After all, she had never heard of her boss possessing any expertise in appraising treasures. Moreover, in modern times, the practice of appraisal has evolved into a relatively complete industrial process. Jiang Yuan had not even touched the book, so how could he possibly discern anything? Reflecting on this, Yao Wenwen couldn't help but reassess her understanding of Jiang Yuan. Generous and audacious. Transfer the funds, Jiang Yuan commanded. Yao Wenwen promptly complied, preparing to make the payment. Chen Xiaoyu also took out the transaction contract from the shop, and the transaction procedures were swiftly completed. 1 million was transferred to Chen Xiaoyu's account. I owe over 9 million. With this amount, I can repay my debts, and perhaps my girlfriend will come back. Chen Xiaoyu's eyes sparkled with hope. Meanwhile, Jiang Yuan successfully acquired the scripture. Am I being unfair to an old classmate? I acquired a genuine antique worth 7 billion for such a modest sum. Jiang Yuan's expression turned somewhat peculiar. However, upon reflection, he realized that had he not come today, the scripture would likely have been purchased by Yi Lao and Huang Ren for 3 million. In that case, Chen Xiaoyu would have been burdened with several million in debt, leading to a rather arduous existence. With this thought in mind, Jiang Yuan felt that his actions were not excessively harsh. Nevertheless, he resolved to offer some compensation in the future. He left his contact information with Chen Xiaoyu, stating, Feel free to reach out if you need anything. Once the transaction was concluded, he and Yao Wenwen prepared to bid farewell to Chen Xiaoyu. However, before they departed, Chen Xiaoyu reminded Jiang Yuan, Brother Yuan, I heard that our high school classmates are planning a reunion in a few days. Do remember to come. A reunion? Jiang Yuan touched his nose, feeling a twinge of guilt. For the past few years, he had intentionally avoided such gatherings. It was not due to his lack of success, but rather because he had dated several girls during his school days, particularly from his own class. In his youthful ignorance, he had left a trail of heartache among many young women. The thought of attending a reunion surrounded by his ex-girlfriends filled him with dread. What an awkward situation that would be. Just the mere contemplation of it sent shivers down his spine. I'll think about it, Jiang Yuan replied. And then he departed with Yao Wenwen. With the money in hand, Chen Xiaoyu felt emboldened. He promptly settled his debts with Huang Ren and, without hesitation, stated, You are not welcome here. Please leave. Huang Ren seethed inwardly, thinking that this insolent brat dared to speak to him in such a manner. Yet, recalling the young man named Jiang who possessed an extraordinary fortune, he refrained from further antagonizing Chen Xiaoyu and left in a huff. Meanwhile, Yi Lao felt an unsettling sense of something being amiss. To err on the side of caution, he called the Yi family on Antique Street, instructing them to monitor the recent movements in the domestic and international antique market, particularly for any auctions involving items resembling ancient scriptures. Coincidentally, at the same moment, Jiang Yuan made a call of his own. He reached out to manager Wang of the Ritz-Carlton restaurant. Xiao Wang, I have a matter for you to attend to. Upon hearing Jiang Yuan's voice, Manager Wang immediately adopted an exceedingly obsequious tone. Your command is my wish. I will handle whatever you require. Jiang Yuan replied affirmatively. Please send a few people over, or better yet, come yourself to collect an item I need you to safeguard. I wish for you to assist me in auctioning an antique. Auctioning an antique? Manager Wang was momentarily perplexed by the sudden request. However, despite his confusion, he knew better than to disregard Jiang Yuan's instructions. Jiang Yuan spoke with a tone that was both earnest and cautious, saying, in a little while, send a few trustworthy individuals to accompany you. Remember to bring along the highest grade safe. This matter must not leak a whisper. Upon hearing his tone, Manager Wang realized that this antique seemed to hold immense significance. Even Boss Jiang regarded it as a rather important relic. Manager Wang's expression grew serious. He mobilized his private security team and brought along the cherished safe. Approximately half an hour later, Jiang Yuan entrusted him with the ancient scripture. Rest assured, boss, I know quite a few affluent merchants and collectors in the southern city. They will guarantee a satisfactory price. Manager Wang declared with unwavering conviction. Chapter 20. A fortuitous encounter with Su Qingyu and Yi Lao's astonishment, however. We must first subject this scripture to a thorough and professional appraisal in order to obtain a certification of quality, which is essential for determining an accurate valuation. Manager Wang stated. Jiang Yuan nodded in agreement. The market price of antiques is indeed quite volatile, and it remains uncertain whether the 2.7 billion valuation presented by the catalog is a conservative estimate or an overvaluation. This presents a splendid opportunity to test the functionality of this treasure map. Jiang Yuan patted Manager Wang on the shoulder and remarked, Xiao Wang, put your heart into this matter. Should it be executed well, you shall certainly reap the rewards. Manager Wang eagerly nodded and bowed in acquiescence. Jiang Yuan's directives were akin to royal decrees in his eyes. He carefully stored the scripture in a case and began reaching out to pertinent professionals to arrange for its expert appraisal. Once the task was completed, Jiang Yuan rejoined the goddesses and embarked on a day of shopping. The destination was, naturally, the bustling commercial street in the heart of the city, known locally as Golden Street. The name is derived from its reputation as the most extravagant shopping haven in the city. Many tourists make a point to visit and meander here for an extended period. Golden Street boasts a plethora of entertainment options, with the Century Mall being the most renowned and the priciest of them all. Accompanied by the goddesses, Jiang Yuan initiated a grand shopping spree. The first stop, of course, was purchasing handbags. Brands like Hermes and Louis Vuitton were omnipresent. Bye. We can acquire anything here, Jiang Yuan declared with bravado. Having just witnessed Jiang Yuan's extravagant nature in the restaurant, the goddesses felt no need to hold back. The purchasing power of women is formidable, especially those indulging in a shopping excursion. Before long, numerous bills began to accumulate. However, Jiang Yuan was utterly unconcerned, barely glancing at the price tags before promptly making the payments. Such is the nature of wealth. Onlookers, including customers and cashiers alike, were left astonished. Ding! Shop points 100 ding! Shop points 100 ding! Shop points 100 ding! Shop points 100 ding! Shop points 100. Did he just buy without even looking at the price tags? How extravagant can one be? Is he perhaps the heir to a bank or a gold mine? I've only seen such behavior on television, where aristocrats make purchases without a second thought, simply swiping their cards. And how is it that he has so many girlfriends? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? My heavens, I can't even count them all. So many beautiful goddesses. Could they all be this wealthy gentleman's companions? Did he save the world in his past life? How splendid it is to be rich. It makes me envious. As the number of handbags continued to multiply, the crowd of astonished onlookers grew larger. Coincidentally, Su Qingyu was among them, accompanied by a gentleman, the very one introduced to her by her family, a suitor from a prestigious university. After being cast out by Jiang Yuan, Su Qingyu found herself engulfed in despair, acutely aware that her dreams of entering high society had shattered. Therefore, she shamelessly pleaded and coaxed her way back into the good graces of her blind date. However, she was utterly unprepared for the unexpected encounter with Jiang Yuan on her first date. Witnessing Jiang Yuan lavishly spending on those goddesses ignited a fierce jealousy within her, as everything she observed had once belonged to her. Unfortunately, her avaricious nature and pursuit of quick success ultimately led her to lose Jiang Yuan, a top-tier wealthy suitor. The man beside her now, her blind date, was so stingy that even a simple meal or movie date required splitting the bill under the guise of gender equality. His miserly demeanor stood in stark contrast to the grandeur displayed by Jiang Yuan. Why can't you buy me a bag? Su Yinggu lamented, unveiling Tokan seat. The blind date's demeanor shifted immediately, responding with irritation. My monthly salary is limited. Do you expect me to purchase such an expensive bag? If I did, we'd be reduced to eating the wind. Besides, our relationship should be equal. If I buy you such an extravagant gift, what could you possibly give me in return? Su Qingyu, listening to his self-righteous reasoning, felt an overwhelming wave of regret. How had she ended up with such a miser? Frankly, it was nothing more than a display of stinginess. If it had been Jiang Yuan, there would have been no need for such discussions. He would have simply bought it. The remorse that welled up within her was so profound it felt as though her very insides were twisted in regret. Had she known better, she would have cherished her time with Jiang Yuan rather than letting it slip away. Yet, she understood that any chance with Jiang Yuan had vanished, and she regarded him from afar, akin to gazing at a distant mountain. Ultimately, she lacked the courage to approach him and left the mall in defeat. 3 days later, Manager Wang held a qualification certificate in his hands, his face etched with astonishment. The document revealed the authenticity of the Ma Wai Na Praj P. Ramit S. Tra, a genuine relic from the venerable monk Hui Jin, and its condition was of the utmost quality. This certificate had just arrived that morning, freshly received by a subordinate. According to the records, the scripture entrusted to Jiang Yuan was invaluable, and if auctioned, it would fetch an astronomical price. Naturally, Manager Wang understood the gravity of Jiang Yuan's request and did not dare to be negligent. He immediately reached out to nearly all antique collectors and affluent businessmen in Nancheng, leveraging his extensive network to initiate the auction of the scripture. The emergence of this sacred relic sparked an uproar, not only due to its high collectible value, but also because it was a renowned Buddhist scripture. It was said that placing it in one's home could invite the blessings of the Buddha, ensuring peace and well-being for generations. Wealthy individuals, in particular, harbored fears of losing their affluent lifestyles. Thus, they often preferred to believe in the possibility of such blessings rather than dismiss them. In the southern city, there once resided a wealthy merchant who, in pursuit of an auspicious omen, expended millions merely to acquire a modern oil painting adorned with the letter V. The significance of this artwork was none other than victory, a symbol of eternal triumph. Not only was this painting remarkable, but the emergence of the authentic relic of the saint immediately sparked a frenzy among numerous affluent families vying for it at auction. The realm of antiques is inherently limited. Thus, those with both the interest and means to procure such treasures are predominantly individuals who have navigated this circle for many years. Consequently, this matter swiftly reached the ears of Elder Yi. An authentic relic of the saint? A sense of foreboding surged within Elder Yi. This description bore an uncanny resemblance to the scroll of Buddhist scriptures he had encountered that day in Shen Xiayu's shop. Chapter 21. The notable Jiang Yuan, if this were true, I would have missed out on a priceless treasure. The expression on Elder Ye's face was one of profound shock, as his mind replayed the scenes of that fateful day. The enigmatic Jiang Yuan had, with a thunderous force, swept the ancient scripture from his grasp. He had been a mere step away from acquiring this authentic relic. Had it not been for Jiang Yuan's intervention, the one in possession of the scripture would undoubtedly have been him. Simultaneously, the latest reports indicated that the auction price for this sacred Buddhist scripture had surged to an astonishing 35 billion. Moreover, this figure was not the final sale price. The affluent merchants of South City were increasingly enthusiastic about this ancient text, with many speculating that the final bid might exceed 40 billion. This would mark one of the highest sale records in South City in recent years. Elder Yi, a figure of great renown who had navigated the antique world for decades, never imagined he would be outdone by a mere youth. A tumult of emotions, resentment, confusion, and despair swirled within him, ultimately converging into a blend of regret and astonishment. He lamented how he had underestimated Jiang Yuan, failing to examine the scripture closely. He was astonished by how Jiang Yuan had swiftly and astutely identified this priceless manuscript before him. Elder Yi found himself unable to comprehend how someone so inexperienced could possess such remarkable talent. Despite a lifetime immersed in antiques, he had never encountered a prodigy like this. This individual, who had previously been unknown in South City, had emerged from obscurity. Eventually, Elder Yi sank into his chair, a self-deprecating smile gracing his lips. He felt a sense of resignation. Talent emerges in every generation, each leaving its mark for centuries. Perhaps this young man, named Jiang, harbored secrets yet unknown to him. The news of Elder Ye's misfortune at the hands of a young man named Jiang Yuan quickly spread, sending ripples through the antique circles of South City. The Yi family, long dominant in the realm of antiques, had suffered a setback from an obscure newcomer. Remarkably, this newcomer lacked any notable background or reputation. In essence, a fledgling had managed to outmaneuver the Yi family. From that day forth, the legendary name of Jiang Yuan began to circulate in the antique circles of South City, piquing the interest of many who now wished to befriend him. Investigate this young man named Jiang Yuan immediately. We must gather information, especially regarding his residence, and prepare gifts for a visit. To think Jiang Yuan resides in the Dongshan Villa District. Moreover, he is the actual authority behind the Fiscal Ton restaurant. When did such a prominent figure emerge in South City? Remarkable, achieving so much at such a young age. At this moment, the elegant and traditional beauty, Yi Yiran, had returned to the Yi family. She too had heard of the events that transpired. The young man with the surname Jiang is also named Jiang Yuan. Could he be the same Jiang Yuan from that day? Or is it merely a coincidence? Yi Yiran's heart began to race. The name Jiang Yuan is not particularly rare. A shout of his name on the street might elicit responses from several individuals. However, deep down, Yi Yiran harbored a genuine hope that this Jiang Yuan was indeed the one she had encountered that day. After all, the impression he left on her at the Ritz-Carlton restaurant was profoundly etched in her memory. Firstly, Jiang Yuan's striking looks were simply extraordinary. Secondly, his extravagant display of wealth had exposed Du Fei's true nature, which was simply too dazzling. Since that day, Yi Yiran had been eagerly anticipating another encounter with Jiang Yuan, yearning for a romantic serendipity. Yet, she simultaneously felt a twinge of apprehension. If it truly was him, the Yi family might challenge him or seek to reclaim their honor through him. She hoped he would remain unscathed. Yi Yiran silently prayed. Although he had gained fame and glory, the Yi family would not let matters rest easily. At that moment, Jiang Yuan was inside a men's designer clothing store in Century Mall, accompanied by two young women, Yao Wenwen and Sun Yahan. Boss, you must try this one on. It's the latest collection from the renowned brand Armani. This one is also splendid. It's Versace, a famous luxury brand. Hurry, try it on. This imported Christian Dior suit is excellent as well. Jiang Yuan looked at the various suits the two women had presented and couldn't help but chuckle. After acquiring an antique valued at no less than $2 billion, he was in an exceptionally good mood. Over the past few days, he had taken the opportunity to groom himself well. At this moment, his hairstyle was crafted by the finest stylist in Century Mall, a style he had specifically requested, one befitting 100 billion worth. Not a strand too few, not a strand too many, but precisely the right amount for someone of his stature. When his fortune reached 1,000 billion, he intended to change his hairstyle once again. Now, he was selecting his attire. As the saying goes, a person is defined by their clothing, and a splendid outfit is indispensable when stepping out. He had no desire to appear shabby and be looked down upon, subsequently revealing his 100 billion fortune. Such occurrences were far too antiquated for his taste. However, after surveying the options, he found no suitable suit. Thus, he made a phone call to Manager Wang. Hello, Xiao Wang. Is this Boss Jiang? I'm here. At your service. Please command me. Manager Wang had initially sought to curry favor with Jiang Yuan solely due to his status as the largest shareholder of the board. However, the situation had changed. Since Jiang Yuan entrusted him with the auction of that exorbitantly priced antique, he had encountered numerous high-profile individuals within the upper echelons of South City. Following this incident, Manager Wang had begun to genuinely admire and respect Jiang Yuan. Jiang Yuan is truly a man of capability, possessing a discerning eye. Even the Yi family has suffered losses at his hands. Working alongside such a competent individual brings a sense of security. There is nothing particularly urgent. Could you assist me in contacting a suit designer? I wish to have a few suits tailored for myself. Rest assured, I shall take full responsibility for this matter and guarantee your satisfaction. Upon hearing this, Manager Wang immediately promised that he would handle it. Jiang Yuan nodded and ended the call, acknowledging that this young man is quite dependable. However, no sooner had he hung up than another call came in. It was from Chun Xiaoyu. Brother Yuan, regarding the class reunion we discussed, you absolutely must attend. The mere mention of a reunion caused Jiang Yuan's expression to shift, revealing an unusual discomfort. Chapter 22. Street interview. Jiang Yuan felt a sense of helplessness. On one hand, he harbored a modicum of interest in his former high school girlfriends. He found himself pondering how those once enchanting high school girls had transformed upon entering society. Had they blossomed into even greater beauty? Or had time not been kind to them? However, on the other hand, these women had certainly been a source of considerable trouble for him in the past. With 3 women, drama was guaranteed, and the number of Jiang Yuan's high school ex-girlfriends far exceeded 3. Attending this reunion would undoubtedly invite a cascade of complications. Yet, Jiang Yuan could not outright refuse Chen Xiaoyu. After all, the exorbitantly priced antique had been discovered in his shop, and he had acquired it from Chen for merely a fraction of its worth. "Let me think it over," Jiang Yuan replied. Upon hearing this, Chen Xiaoyu immediately exclaimed, "Brother Yuan, you're truly my benefactor for settling my debts. To be candid, this reunion is the most well-attended gathering we've had in years. All your former girlfriends are eager to come upon hearing you would be there." Jiang Yuan felt an overwhelming sense of dread at this revelation. The prospect of attending became even less appealing. Just as he was about to decline, Chen Xiaoyu added, "Moreover, Song Xiaofeng and his group are currently eyeing your ex-girlfriends, reportedly intending to seize the opportunity to win them over." "Excuse me?" Jiang Yuan's brow furrowed instantly at the mention of Song Xiaofeng. He was also a high school classmate, hailing from a family of modest means. However, his situation had been rather unfortunate. In their first year, Song Xiaofeng harbored a crush on a girl and devoted an entire year to bringing her breakfast. Ultimately, that girl ended up with Jiang Yuan. In the second year, he fell for another girl and spent a year completing her homework, only for her to become Jiang Yuan's girlfriend as well. As for the third year, well, perhaps it was best left unsaid. Song Xiaofeng was undoubtedly embittered, feeling that every girl he had secretly adored had found solace in Jiang Yuan's embrace. And they were all different. This reunion clearly signified his intent for revenge. Jiang Yuan felt a twinge of unease. Song Xiaofeng had a penchant for bullying classmates during their school days, and the thought of future domestic violence loomed ominously. He could not allow his former female classmates to fall into his clutches. Additionally, a sense of possessiveness stirred within Jiang Yuan, a sentiment not uncommon among men. The idea of others pursuing his ex-girlfriends left him feeling somewhat discontented. Although he recognized this was irrational, it perhaps stemmed from shared male trait. After much contemplation, Jiang Yuan ultimately acquiesced. "All right, I will go." Chen Xiaoyu's face lit up with joy as he exclaimed, "That's wonderful, Brother Yuan. Be sure to help me maintain order and prevent Song Xiaofeng from stealing my goddess away." Jiang Yuan chuckled and teased. "So you were just waiting for me to say that. What about your ex-girlfriend? Did you not claim you would never love another woman again?" Chen Xiaoyu stammered. "She has abandoned me. Is it not normal for me to find someone else?" Jiang Yuan chuckled and shook his head. After finishing the call, Jiang Yuan continued to stroll through the bustling streets with Sun Yahan and Yao Wenwen. The foot traffic on Golden Street was immense, and the number of luxury storefronts was astonishing. This place featured numerous popular spots frequented by internet celebrities, such as bubble tea shops and CAFS. It was common to see many people taking photos or recording videos with their phones. With his hands tucked into his pockets, Jiang Yuan wandered the streets, noticing several well-known streamers and influencers wielding cameras. Accompanied by the two enchanting ladies, Yao Wenwen and Sun Yahan, he naturally drew the attention of many passers-by. Not to mention, Jiang Yuan himself was quite handsome, having groomed himself meticulously over the past few days, sporting a hairstyle worth billions, coupled with a stylish suit and fine leather shoes. He resembled a true fashion icon. Consequently, many turned their cameras towards him. A polite couple approached Jiang Yuan, saying, "Hello, we're social media bloggers. May we take a moment of your time for a brief street interview?" Bored and wandering, Jiang Yuan was intrigued and nodded. After all, he had nothing better to do. "What is your profession?" they inquired. Without hesitation, Jiang Yuan replied, "I am a deliverman." Though he had not worked for several days and was nearly forgetting his status as a deliverman, he still instinctively answered with his primary occupation. This did not constitute a lie, did it? The couple, however, displayed remarkable politeness. Upon hearing he was a deliverman, they did not react with surprise. Instead, the young woman giggled, covering her mouth, and remarked, "Sir, you are quite amusing. I have never seen a deliverman accompanied by such beautiful ladies and dressed so stylishly." Jiang Yuan shrugged, expressing his helplessness. Often, he spoke the truth, yet others refused to believe him. "There's nothing I can do about that. Now, let us proceed to the second question. If your mother and your girlfriend fell into the water simultaneously, whom would you save first?" This was undoubtedly a loaded question. Behind him, Yao Wenwen and Sun Yahan exchanged glances, sensing the couple's subtle intentions. They were trying to stir the pot. However, Jiang Yuan remained unfazed, smiling slightly as he replied, "I would have my mother save my girlfriend. When I was a child, she could swim back and forth across the river with me several times." Yao Wenwen's eyes sparkled, impressed by her boss's clever response. Yet, the couple was not easily dissuaded. They pressed on, asking, "Then why wouldn't you save your girlfriend yourself? Does that mean you do not love her enough to make sacrifices for her?" Jiang Yuan, with a bold demeanor, proclaimed, "If I were to go down, my girlfriend would be doomed, for I cannot swim. My mother would undoubtedly rescue me first." A laugh escaped Sun Yahan, while Yao Wenwen's face flushed crimson as she struggled to contain her amusement. How had they never noticed before that their boss, Jiang Yuan, was not only handsome, but also possessed a delightful wit? The young couple was taken aback, secretly admiring Jiang Yuan's unique perspective, realizing he was not easily ensnared. Yet, it was evident they were not inclined to let him off the hook so readily. Chapter 23. Bags? I have plenty of them. Let us move on to the next question. The couple blogger remarked with a hint of reluctance. Jiang Yuan nodded, thinking that since he had nothing better to do, he might as well indulge them. Would you be willing to spend 20,000 yuan on a handbag for your girlfriend? The couple blogger inquired with a cunning glint in their eye. It was yet another trap of a question, clearly designed to steer the narrative. Should Jiang Yuan respond negatively, they would seize the opportunity to ridicule him for being stingy, unable to even purchase a bag for his girlfriend. Conversely, if he agreed, they would incite him to rush to the nearby luxury store to buy one, having already negotiated a commission with the store, thereby profiting handsomely. This was all a ploy, aimed at boosting their video's viewership and engagement, as well as their earnings. Regardless of whether Jiang Yuan's answer was affirmative or negative, he would be ensnared in the couple's cunning scheme. Each response met with a premeditated reaction. Bystanders looked on with a tinge of sympathy, particularly casting pitying glances at Jiang Yuan. This was the infamous street interview by the so-called breakup masters. The bloggers were notorious for posing sharp and awkward questions to couples on the street, with rumors circulating that several couples had been torn apart by their antics. Their show was a shameless imitation of foreign street interviews, executed with even more audacity. For the sake of clicks and views, they pushed boundaries, evoking sympathy for the dashing young man. Faced with this daunting question, Jiang Yuan could only shrug in resignation. He did not respond directly, but turned to Yao Wenwen and Sun Yahan, signaling them to reveal the contents of their shopping bag. The two women immediately understood and placed the bag before the onlookers. The couple bloggers, perplexed, shifted their gaze to the shopping bag. Yao Wenwen delicately opened it, and to everyone's astonishment, it was filled to the brim with handbags. The couple bloggers were rendered speechless. This one was a limited edition Hermes bag crafted from crocodile leather, easily worth 60 to 70,000. This one was made of ostrich leather, and another of lizard skin, each a limited edition from Hermes. And this? The summer collection from LV. A rare piece? Unbelievable. They had deviated from the expected script. Ding. Shop points 100 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 ding. Shop points 100. Action spoke louder than words. Jiang Yuan did not verbally answer the question. Instead, he simply revealed the overflowing shopping bag. Inside were luxury handbags, all limited editions. Their value surpassed that of ordinary classic models by at least threefold, and they possessed significant collectible worth. In an instant, the question of whether he would spend 20,000 yuan on a handbag for his girlfriend appeared exceedingly foolish against the backdrop of such affluence. The couple bloggers gaped, momentarily at a loss for words, unable to utter a single phrase. What can I possibly say? Initially, a carefully laid trap of a question, it was effortlessly unraveled by someone with wealth. Simple and brutal. With money comes a certain audacity. The couple bloggers could feel their eyelids twitching uncontrollably. Little did they expect that in a random street interview, they would encounter a wealthy tycoon. No, a super tycoon. How could they possibly continue the conversation now? In an instant, all their rehearsed lines and strategies appeared utterly juvenile and laughable against the backdrop of an entire shopping bag filled with luxury handbags. Jiang Yuan stood silently with his hands in his pockets, observing their performance. Do you have any further questions? The female blogger struggled to swallow her words. Any more questions? What could possibly be left? A courier as affluent as you is a sight I've never witnessed in my life. Ultimately, the couple bloggers concocted an excuse and hurriedly left the scene, their pride wounded. Jiang Yuan, as financial prowess, had rendered them speechless. Continuing the discussion would only lead to further humiliation. More critically, the female blogger's gaze towards Jiang Yuan grew increasingly unsettling. After all, a man of both striking looks and immense wealth possesses an irresistible allure. The male blogger quickly pulled his girlfriend away, fearing unforeseen consequences. Bystanders were taken aback by the scene before them, their expressions filled with astonishment. Simultaneously, a sense of vindication welled within them. This dashing young man had delivered a well-deserved lesson to the unscrupulous bloggers. The bloggers had been selfish, willing to disrupt couples for the sake of their video views. And this young man's actions were widely applauded. Yet, one couldn't help but marvel at the sheer wealth displayed. A single shopping bag contained an astonishing array of treasures. They felt a mix of relief and shock at Jiang Yuan's ostentatious wealth. Meanwhile, some astute onlookers recognized the value of Jiang Yuan's attire. Was that young man wearing the latest Versace piece, with a single garment costing hundreds of thousands? The couple bloggers truly lacked discernment, though it was understandable. Few ordinary people could identify such high-end suits. Did you see the white watch on his wrist? Could it be a Jaquette Draw's platinum timepiece? I've heard that watch is valued at around 300,000. Adored indeed, this man of both beauty and affluence. As the surrounding crowd's admiration for him intensified, Jiang Yuan could only shrug in resignation. Attractiveness draws attention wherever it goes. Some enthusiastic onlookers even shared the entire incident on Bilibili, crafting an enticing title. Renowned Bilibili Up Master rendered speechless by Tycoon. Have you ever seen a shopping bag full of luxury handbags? Super Tycoon silences unethical Up Master. A satisfying conclusion. The articles and short videos have garnered significant attention, accumulating thousands of shares and views within a mere 30 minutes. Countless individuals are filled with curiosity, pondering which affluent individual possesses such audacity and cleverness to impart a lesson to the notorious couple of content creators. At this moment, the instigator of this incident, Jiang Yuan, has made a decision. Let's take the opportunity to purchase a car, he instructed. Upon hearing this, both Yao Wenwen and Sun Yihan's eyes lit up with excitement. They had long anticipated what kind of vehicle their boss would acquire. In truth, Jiang Yuan had contemplated this purchase for quite some time. However, in recent days, he had been indulging in a whirlwind of entertainment and shopping with a bevy of goddesses, living a life akin to that of a deity, which had caused him to temporarily set aside the thought of buying a car. Until today, when a mood struck him. Then let us conveniently purchase one, he declared as he led the two women toward the automobile dealership. Yao Wenwen inquired, Boss, what type of car are you considering? Sun Yihan added, Boss, what is your budget? Jiang Yuan responded, We'll see when we arrive. There's no rush. Chapter 24, Casually acquiring several luxury cars inside the dealership. Jiang Yuan leisurely strolled in with Yao Wenwen and another young woman. The courteous female sales representative approached them, ready to assist. Good day, sir. How may I serve you today? Please show me the latest sports cars available in your showroom. Of course, please follow me. The atmosphere was light and enjoyable, devoid of the condescending attitudes often found in lesser establishments. This was not merely due to Jiang Yuan's affluent attire, but rather the professionalism exhibited by the sales staff in high-end dealerships. Regardless of a customer's financial standing, they maintained a respectful demeanor, for business is founded on personal connections, and discourtesy is rarely displayed. The sales representative guided Jiang Yuan and his companions to a striking silver sports car. Its design was breathtaking and powerful, reminiscent of a beast on the open road, exuding masculinity. The sleek body, paired with an elegant silver hue, made its exhaust plume dance like a butterfly when it roared to life. Jiang Yuan nodded appreciatively, finding the vehicle's aesthetics quite appealing. This is the Feduiter 500, the saleswoman explained with expertise. Its appearance and performance are exceptional. It accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.9 seconds, a true performance monster. The car's features seemed impressive as well, and Jiang Yuan felt a sense of satisfaction. Yao Wenwen gently tugged at his sleeve and remarked, Boss, this car appears to be quite remarkable. Let's make the purchase, he replied, without inquiring about the price. Jiang Yuan had grown accustomed to a new habit over the past few days, buying without concern for cost. Wealth afforded him such indulgence. Under his direction, Yao Wenwen promptly initiated the necessary paperwork for the purchase. The saleswoman was internally astonished by Jiang Yuan's extravagance, yet she maintained a facade of composure. After all, in the world of luxury cars, one must not reveal surprise, lest they be perceived as unprofessional. Trained to uphold a neutral expression, she endeavored to appear unfazed. However, Jiang Yuan could discern her true feelings. Ding! Shock points 50. The echo of her astonishment resonated in his ears. After all, it was rare to encounter someone who would purchase a sports car without even glancing at the price tag. The transaction was swiftly completed. The car's base price, along with insurance and other fees, amounted to approximately 5 million. In preparation for this convenience, Jiang Yuan had transferred 50 million to Yao Wenwen a few days prior, trusting her implicitly as his personal stewardess. However, during the completion of the purchase, Yao Wenwen encountered a female influencer brandishing a camera. Such occurrences were commonplace in this vibrant shopping district, where social media personalities frequently captured moments for their videos or live streams. Yao Wenwen paid little attention and returned to Jiang Yuan's side after completing the task. "Boss, the paperwork for the purchase is done," Yao Wenwen announced. Jiang Yuan nodded in acknowledgement. However, he did not leave, instead continuing to explore the car dealership. "Boss, didn't we just buy a car?" Yao Wenwen asked, somewhat perplexed. Since Jiang Yuan had come to purchase a vehicle, why linger? Was he particularly fond of wandering? Unexpectedly, Jiang Yuan made a remarkable statement. "One car is hardly sufficient." Yao Wenwen was taken aback, realizing that the world of the affluent is indeed beyond imagination, and poverty has constrained her vision. She swallowed hard and inquired, "How many cars do you intend to buy?" Jiang Yuan calmly replied, "It depends on my mood." Such a statement caused the saleswoman nearby to gulp as well. This customer exuded a certain extravagance. Ordinary individuals toil to obtain a loan for even the most mundane vehicle. Yet, Jiang Yuan could casually purchase several luxurious supercars based on his whims. The disparity between individuals is striking. Jiang Yuan's actions immediately captured considerable attention, subtly positioning him as the focal point of the gathering. A camera lens gradually focused on him, operated by Yang Mi, a Bilibili content creator who specializes in live streaming automotive content rather than short videos. With a striking resemblance to a renowned actress, she adopted the name Yang Mi for her broadcasts. Her fan base had long surpassed 100,000, earning her a contract and accolades from Bilibili. At this moment, the entire live stream buzzed with excitement due to Jiang Yuan's presence. Comments flooded the screen. "That young man is so handsome. Look at his incredible physique. I feel faint. He bought a Ferrari 500 and thinks it's not enough, wanting to acquire more luxury cars. Absolutely extravagant. I wish I could marry him. This charming and wealthy young man is simply irresistible. Sister Mi is still single. Should she make an effort to approach this young man?" Some inquisitive viewers began to devise playful strategies, jokingly suggesting that Yang Mi should seize the opportunity to ingratiate herself with him. Perhaps he would take a liking to her, ensuring a life free of struggle. To their surprise, Yang Mi prepared herself, touching up her makeup and donning a confident smile. Who wouldn't be moved by a chance encounter with a heartthrob? She mused, considering that perhaps he would share her tastes. If fate favored her, she might secure a future of ease. She then approached Jiang Yuan and, closing her eyes, struck an alluring pose. However, much to her astonishment, time ticked by. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jiang Yuan did not utter a word, nor did he acknowledge her presence, for all his attention was captivated by a car before him. The sleek body, expansive windshield, tapered front, and rear-mounted engine. All these factors combined create an immensely striking exterior. "Sir, this vehicle is the latest model of the Lamborghini Huracan." Jiang Yuan was instantly captivated. As for the internet celebrity Yang Mi, Jiang Yuan couldn't be bothered to glance at her. When compared to a supercar, a woman simply pales in significance. In the presence of such a magnificent automobile, women are utterly inconsequential. Jiang Yuan disregarded Yang Mi's actions entirely. He placed his hand on the Lamborghini Huracan, feeling a rush of clarity and smoothness flow into his heart. "This car is exceptional. I shall purchase it," Jiang Yuan declared decisively. "Very well." Yao Wenwen promptly acknowledged his command. Chapter 25. Seeking a new girlfriend? Yao Wenwen acted swiftly, and the transaction procedures for yet another deal were completed in no time. However, Jiang Yuan did not receive the so-called car key. Instead, he was presented with a bracelet adorned with hundreds of sparkling diamonds. "What is this? Where's my car key?" Jiang Yuan couldn't help but feel perplexed. The saleswoman explained, "Sir, this Lamborghini Huracan is equipped with the latest technology, and instead of a traditional key, it utilizes this bracelet, which employs smart wristband technology." As she elucidated, she took the opulent bracelet and gently scanned it against the car door, causing the Lamborghini Huracan's door to open gracefully, like the wings of a butterfly. "Marvelous!" Jiang Yuan exclaimed in awe. Although he was aware of the rapid advancements in technology, he did not anticipate that a variant of the smart wristband would be employed so swiftly in high-end sports cars. Moreover, the fact that this intelligent bracelet was encrusted with so many glittering diamonds was undeniably indicative of luxury. Curious about the prices, Jiang Yuan inquired, "What do these items roughly cost?" It was not a shift in his demeanor. He was simply intrigued. "This bracelet is valued at 3 million. While the Lamborghini Huracan costs approximately 6 million, the saleswoman replied respectfully. A bracelet serving as a car key costing 3 million, considering the sports car itself, was merely 6 million. That was a staggering half of the total price. Together, that amounted to a staggering 9 million. Yao Wenwen, who had been listening nearby, was equally astonished. Is it true that a car key costs 3 million? Jiang Yuan stroked his chin, feeling that while it was somewhat unexpected, it was also within the realm of reason. Although a car key costing half the price of the vehicle seemed to lack value for money, luxury items inherently defy such assessments. Many affluent individuals spend billions on artworks, especially those pieces resembling elementary school drawings, which in essence also lack any real value for money. There was no remedy. Wealth allows for indulgence. The allure lies in extravagance. Just as Jiang Yuan was engrossed in thoughts about the Lamborghini Huracan, the internet celebrity streamer, Mimi, suddenly wore a glum expression, feeling as though she would turn green with envy. Why was this young man ignoring her? Was it because she wasn't attractive enough? How could he choose a car over a woman? What a stereotypical man. Meanwhile, the barrage of comments in her live stream was moving at lightning speed. Goodness, a smart bracelet encrusted with so many gems worth 3 million. And that's merely a car key. The world of the wealthy is truly astonishing. Poverty has limited my imagination. A car key costs such an outrageous amount. I am utterly astounded by these rich individuals. Who on earth is this young man? To have the audacity to buy such an extravagant Lamborghini Huracan without hesitation? Our beautiful and charming Mimi has been utterly disregarded by him. This young man is truly arrogant. The temperament of the wealthy is beyond our comprehension. Yang Mi glanced at the barrage of comments in her live stream, and she immediately felt her blood pressure rise. Under normal circumstances, being overlooked by this young man would not have bothered her. However, this is a live broadcast, and the persona of a goddess in her streaming room must not be tarnished. Yang Mi slightly adjusted her expression and retreated to the restroom to touch up her makeup. When she confidently reappeared in the hall, she discovered that Jiang Yuan had already departed. A sense of disarray welled up within her, and she hurriedly inquired with the female sales associate from earlier. The customer had already left. Upon hearing the news of Jiang Yuan's departure, Yang Mi let out a disappointed sigh. She could not quite articulate whether her disappointment stemmed from failing to reclaim her dignity or from missing the opportunity to engage with the handsome and affluent young man. Feeling somewhat dejected, she ended her broadcast. The Lamborghini Huracan North sped along the road. Jiang Yuan sat in the passenger seat, while Yao Wenwen was at the wheel. Jiang Yuan scrolled through short videos and live streams on his phone, seeking content that piqued his interest. Yao Wenwen then asked, "Boss, are you currently single?" Jiang Yuan put away his phone and stretched, responding, "Why do you ask? Do you wish to become my wife?" Yao Wenwen chuckled, a mix of bashfulness and amusement in her demeanor. "I am merely your housekeeper. I could do anything you ask, but my status does not befit yours. However, I do have a close friend who is far more beautiful than I am. Though winning her over is no simple feat, a beauty surpassing Yao Wenwen's already impressive looks." Jiang Yuan's interest was piqued. Yao Wenwen's beauty was rated at an impressive 9.3, a rarity among campus goddesses. What level could her friend possibly be at? Jiang Yuan smiled and inquired, "Why do you say it would be difficult to win her over?" Yao Wenwen explained, "She is a popular internet female streamer, with millions of fans in her live stream. Moreover, she is the belle of a renowned drama academy and has already starred in several films. She is bound to become a star in the entertainment industry. Many wealthy elites are vying for her attention." Upon hearing this, Jiang Yuan immediately said, "Please tell me her streaming channel." Yao Wenwen complied without hesitation. Jiang Yuan swiftly accessed her friend's Douyu live stream on his phone. As soon as he entered, he could not help but exclaim, "Goodness!" There in the streaming room, a stunning beauty clad in a strapless mini dress, exposing her midriff and ample skin, was dancing exuberantly. Her movements were exceptionally graceful, although Jiang Yuan was not particularly focused on that. What captured his attention was the remarkable symmetry of the female streamer's figure. It is not the kind of emaciated beauty that many young women pursue nowadays, but rather a form of beauty that is both voluptuous and healthy. This beauty is imbued with an alluring charm, far surpassing that of mere skeletal aesthetics. Merely observing the figure of this female live streamer, Jiang Yuan could not help but sigh, considering her to be the most stunning beauty he had ever encountered. However, it is somewhat lamentable that this live streamer obscured her face, deliberately opting not to reveal herself. This greatly vexed Jiang Yuan. She adheres to this peculiar rule during her broadcasts, rarely showing her face. When he inquired privately, she explained that if she were to reveal her visage, the audience would focus solely on her appearance rather than her dance. Yao Wenwen, standing nearby, fanned the flames, saying, "Boss, if you shower her with gifts, perhaps she might unveil her face." Her desire for spectacle was unmistakable as she sought to stir up trouble. To Jiang Yuan's surprise, he found her suggestion quite reasonable. Thus, he resolved to bestow gifts generously. If he could not catch a glimpse of this young lady's face today, it would be utterly unbearable. Chapter 26. Tipping. The streamer Jiang Yuan currently finds himself in a rather peculiar state of mind. He feels akin to a diner seated at a restaurant, armed with chopsticks and a knife and fork, only to be abruptly informed that all dishes have been sold out, and he must return another day. This sensation is profoundly disconcerting. Just as Jiang Yuan had begun to take an interest in the alluring figure of the beautiful streamer, he was suddenly met with the announcement that faces would not be revealed. Is this a jest at my expense? No way. Though Jiang Yuan had never engaged with this particular live streaming platform before, he swiftly registered for a level 1 account. Yao Guanin, who was nearby, offered a reminder, stating, "Boss, the audience on this platform is categorized into 7 ranks: Ranger, Knight, Viscount, Earl, Duke, King, and Emperor." Without a moment's hesitation, Jiang Yuan disregarded the pricing and immediately upgraded to Emperor. Ding! With the completion of a payment amounting to 120,000, Jiang Yuan's humble level 1 account was instantly transformed into a distinguished VIP in the live broadcast room. As he entered, he was met with a grand welcome. A plethora of dazzling and magnificent effects adorned the display, showcasing Jiang Yuan's ID, Source Emperor. The streamer, Jiang Shiying, immediately took note of the newly minted Emperor, Source Emperor. With a blend of courtesy and poise, she expressed her gratitude, saying, "Thank you to Source Emperor for upgrading to Emperor." Her tone was perfectly composed. After all, her live stream was bustling with activity, and there were no fewer than 100 emperors in attendance, many of whom had held their titles for over a year. She was well acquainted with such spectacles and remained unperturbed by Jiang Yuan's recent elevation. However, the barrage of comments in the live stream erupted with excitement over the new emperor's arrival. Wow, a new emperor! And he has just registered a level 1 account to become an emperor. Could this be a wealthy patron's alternate account? I've never seen a level 1 account ascend to emperor before. I'm financially constrained. May I inquire how much it costs to attain such extravagant emperor effects? This emperor requires a staggering 120,000 a month. Who besides the affluent can afford that? The comments brimmed with envy and resentment, as a subtle wave of class animosity began to permeate the atmosphere. At that moment, Source Emperor spoke up. "Streamer, could you reveal your face? I am quite curious about your appearance." His account had only just been upgraded to Emperor, and every word was accompanied by striking effects. Ensuring that all in the live stream noticed his request, many viewers began to express their discontent and stifled laughter. This boss seems rather clueless. Our Jia has a strict rule against revealing her face. Indeed, the last patron who held the title of Emperor for an entire year was denied his request for her to show her face. Though Jia had acted in films and appeared publicly, she adhered to an ironclad rule. She would never reveal her face during live streams. Dear boss, you might as well resign yourself to this reality. Jiang Yuan observed the lively exchange in the comments, gradually grasping the situation at hand. As anticipated, the female streamer Jiang Shiying paused for a moment before resolutely declining the request. "I'm sorry, but this live stream does not show faces. Although you are a newly appointed emperor, this rule applies to you as well. Our stream adheres to the principle of equality." Jiang Yuan chuckled with amusement, softly remarking, "Equality? Is it? A fine notion of equality indeed." Meanwhile, Yao Wenwen, standing nearby, shyly stuck out her tongue and said, "Boss, my dear friend has such a stubborn temperament. I'm afraid you might be disappointed this time." Jiang Yuan lightly scoffed, "Not necessarily." In truth, however, Jiang Shiying felt a twinge of anxiety within her. Each emperor represents a potential affluent patron for the stream, capable of contributing substantial revenue. If she were to be rejected due to her stipulations, and consequently lose a consumer from her stream, it would indeed feel like a loss for her as a streamer reliant on her earnings. Fortunately, after she had declined the request from the Emperor Yuan Jiang, he did not pursue the matter further. Clearly, he had chosen to withdraw. Jiang Shiying breathed a sigh of relief and was preparing to continue her broadcast. Suddenly, a dazzling array of eye-catching visual effects erupted on the screen. "Congratulations to Emperor Yuan Jiang for subscribing for 1 month." The announcement echoed repeatedly. "Congratulations to Emperor Yuan Jiang for subscribing for 1 month." The effects seemed endless, and Jiang Shiying gulped, patiently counting line by line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 36. To her astonishment, it was a subscription renewal for a full 36 months. Jiang Shuring felt a wave of dizziness wash over her. A 1-month subscription amounts to 12,000. Thus 36 months equates to 3 or 4 million. My goodness. While her stream had seen seasoned emperors, none had ever subscribed for more than a year. This was her first encounter with such an extravagant patron who renewed for 3 years. How extravagantly opulent. Jiang Shuring found herself wavering. She began to question her steadfast refusal to reveal her face on camera. If she continued to decline, would she not offend this super wealthy patron? Perhaps it was time to reconsider her principles? Uncertainty clouded her mind. Just as she hesitated, a more lavish torrent of gifts surged towards her like a tidal wave. Congratulations to Emperor Yuanjiang for gifting an airplane. Congratulations to Emperor Yuanjiang for gifting an airplane. Congratulations to Emperor Yuanjiang for gifting a rocket. Congratulations to Emperor Yuanjiang for gifting a rocket. Congratulations to Emperor Yuanjiang for gifting a rocket. Congratulations to Emperor Yuanjiang for gifting a super rocket. Congratulations on receiving a magnificent super rocket from Yuanjiang Emperor. The sheer volume of gifts was so overwhelming that it completely obscured the host's image. Such a staggering quantity, surely exceeding 1,000 rockets. The atmosphere in the live stream exploded with excitement. Goodness, my mathematical skills are lacking. How many rockets has this generous benefactor sent? I can barely keep my eyes open with all these dazzling gift effects. Who on earth is this affluent patron? Chapter 27. A flood of wealth, a deluge of gifts surged forth like a relentless tide. Jiang Shuring found herself utterly bewildered, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of presents raining down upon her. How many gifts could this possibly be? What was the total value? Her mind felt momentarily paralyzed. A mathematics prodigy throughout her school years, renowned for her exceptional skills, she now struggled to perform even the simplest arithmetic due to the shock that had seized her intellect. The barrage of gifts from Jiang Yuan showed no signs of abating. This was merely the beginning. An unending stream of aircraft, rockets, and super gifts cascaded in, reminiscent of the Yangtze River flowing into the sea, unstoppable and vast. The audience in the live streaming room was left in astonishment. What a monumental event. Who was this wealthy benefactor, rapidly ascending to the top of the weekly rankings? A glance at the leaderboard revealed that he was climbing at an astonishing pace, nearing the upper echelons of the overall rankings. It was said that the top position has always been fiercely contested. Traditionally, the top spot is akin to a father figure, while the second place is left with nothing to grasp. Previously, Jiang Shuring's top spot was held by a figure known as the Emperor of Men, a prominent patron who frequently graced various beautiful streamers' rooms with his extravagant generosity. Rumored to be the son of a leading tycoon, he was a veritable heir among heirs, and no one dared to contest him in any streaming room where he appeared. Speculation arose. Could this mysterious Jiang Emperor be a mere alternate account of the Emperor of Men? It seemed unlikely, as the Emperor was known for his arrogant and reckless demeanor, never one to act without considering the consequences. Yet, it had been a while since the Emperor had last appeared, with whispers suggesting he had returned home to take over the family business. The audacity of Jiang Emperor was truly remarkable. If the Emperor learned of this, not only would he reclaim his top position, but he might also chastise Jiang Shuring for breaking decorum during her live stream. An intriguing thought. At this moment, Jiang Shuring was becoming increasingly dazed by the overwhelming gifts. As a prominent streamer, she had encountered numerous affluent patrons before, but never had she witnessed such unrestrained generosity. In a mere 10 minutes, Jiang Emperor had bestowed over 10 million in gifts, a display of wealth that seemed to disregard the value of money entirely. Her heart raced with a mix of astonishment and joy, her body trembling in response. Given the revenue-sharing agreement between Jiang Shuring and the streaming platform, such an astronomical sum would yield her several million. Yet, she hesitated to accept it, as the enigmatic Jiang Emperor was shrouded in mystery. He had emerged from obscurity, lavishly spending a fortune, seemingly for the sole purpose of catching a glimpse of her. Without a doubt, such a person is indeed a significant figure among the greats. If I do not rein him in, it may leave an impression of insatiable greed. That would lead to trouble indeed. Jiang Shuring observed the increasing array of gift effects, yet a growing unease settled within her. She was astute, not at all a superficial woman like Su Qingyu, enamored solely by wealth. Today, if this influential figure were pleased, he could easily elevate her status with his riches. However, should she inadvertently displease him, she feared that even her ashes would be easily scattered by him. It would be effortless for such a person to ruin her. If handled poorly, she might not even comprehend how her demise unfolded. With his thought in mind, Jiang Shiying hastily declared, "That will suffice. I can make an appearance, but under one condition." Upon hearing this, the barrage of comments became increasingly agitated. Ding. Shot points 100 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 ding. Shot points 100. The goddess has made an exception. This is the first time in 3 years of live streaming that Jiang Shiying is willing to show her face. Indeed, wealth can truly bend the rules. Even the so-called golden rules have been shattered. This boss is truly remarkable. I just calculated the total value of the gifts, estimating it to be over 10 million. In less than 15 minutes, a staggering 10 million was spent. How utterly mind-boggling. Jiang Yuan casually inquired, "What condition?" "Speak." Jiang Shiying carefully considered her words and replied, "I can only agree to a private video call." Upon hearing this, Jiang Yuan chuckled. He teased his companion, Yao Wenwen, saying, "Your friend seems to understand a man's intentions quite well." Yao Wenwen spat lightly. Shiying is simply clever. She has never been in a relationship, having grown up under her parents' strict supervision. Jiang Yuan responded with an intrigued, "Oh," delighted by this unexpected revelation. What man does not appreciate such a pure girl? Yet, the comments in Jiang Shiying's live stream were filled with disappointment. "What a pity. I wanted to see the goddess at home. How fortunate it is to be wealthy. To indulge alone. I truly wonder what the goddess looks like without her makeup. I'm utterly envious. Dear boss, please share. Do not keep it to yourself. We want to see too." Jiang Yuan observed the ravenous comments and couldn't help but feel speechless. It was evident that Jiang Shiying was live streaming from home, likely without makeup. She probably feared scaring them. To be honest, modern makeup techniques are so advanced that many girls' appearances are significantly enhanced through cosmetics. So far, Jiang Yuan had yet to encounter a girl whose bare face could truly astonish him. Despite the information previously provided by Yao Wenwen, if there is no deception, one might still harbor a glimmer of hope for Jiang Shiying's beauty. However, in her natural state, it is likely that she would not appear particularly remarkable. With this thought in mind, Jiang Yuan slowly sent a video request to Jiang Shiying, all under the watchful eyes of the audience. Alongside his request, he added, "I wish to see your barefaced appearance." Jiang Shiying hesitated for a moment, but eventually responded, "All right." This revelation left the viewers in the live broadcast utterly envious, as Jiang Shiying's appearance was monopolized by none other than Jiang Yuan. Yet, upon reflection, they found some solace in understanding that this rather exclusive service was acquired at the cost of over 10 million. Deep down, they realized the indisputable power of wealth. Chapter 28. A date with Jiang Shiying before long. Jiang Shiying accepted the video request. In the lower right corner of the live stream, a figure gradually materialized. The audience eagerly anticipated Jiang Shiying's natural appearance. Yet regrettably, the image was exceedingly blurred, evidently subjected to a special encryption process. The true visage was solely reserved for Jiang Yuan. At this moment, a delicate girl with porcelain-like skin and exquisite features surfaced in Jiang Yuan's mind. Quite lovely. This was the first thought that flickered in Jiang Yuan's heart. To be candid, Jiang Yuan had encountered numerous individuals over the past few days. Even the goddesses residing in his Dongshan villa were of campus beauty caliber. He had assumed that being surrounded by such stunning women would have fortified his resistance to their allure. However, today, he was indeed slightly taken aback by Jiang Shiying's beauty. Yao Wenwen, standing nearby, teased him with a hint of envy, saying, "Boss, I told you so. Shiying is the most beautiful girl I have ever seen." Jiang Yuan detected the jealousy, lacing her voice, and couldn't help but chuckle. He playfully swiped his finger across Yao Wenwen's nose and remarked, "All right, you found me a promising girlfriend this time. I'll make sure to reward you appropriately." Yao Wenwen giggled in response. Using the ID of Yuan Jiandi in the livestream, he commented, "Not bad." This simple appraisal signified Jiang Shiying had garnered his initial approval, presenting a value worthy of further consideration. Meanwhile, the barrage of comments in Jiang Shiying's livestream had already erupted. Numerous eager wolves lamented in unison, "Boss, you can't hog all the fun. Let's see too. I want to witness the goddess Jiang Shiying's natural beauty. Please, I beg you. Boss, we too wish to behold her countenance. Fulfill our wishes." Jiang Yuan directly disregarded the mournful cries of the ravenous wolves and instead typed a single line on the public screen. "Would you be interested in meeting in person?" His words were straightforward, blunt even. A proposition. Upon reading this, Jiang Shiying visibly flustered. After all, this was a live broadcast. Why didn't the boss message her privately? Such topics were hardly suitable for public discourse during a stream. The comments exploded into chaos immediately. No way, we can't allow this. How dare he openly flirt with our goddess? This cannot happen. Shuriing, remember, men with wealth may turn wicked. You mustn't team meet him. Do not engage with this mysterious boss. He might just be playing around. Wealth does not grant one the right to act without restraint. We implore you, boss, to exercise some decorum. Jiang Shuriing found herself in a state of hesitation and uncertainty. To be honest, she had been live streaming for 3 years and had received numerous propositions from affluent suitors. In the realm of live streaming, there once existed a seasoned emperor who, without hesitation,